First extra of the day. Just a bit too wide from Ramtahal on that occasion.
So just losing the radar here a bit. Amrita Ramtahal. She'd want to finish well. Haven't gotten the breakthrough here for Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago, coming off a defeat to Guyana by 4 runs in the first round. Will want to bounce back here very strongly indeed. This one is played off the back foot. It goes to extra cover where Brianna Haricharan does the fielding. So at the end of over number 1, the Leeward Islands on the 19 team, a 4 for 1.
Yeah, good start by the Trinidad and Tobago side. And they will need to win this game. They're normally a very disciplined unit in the field. They'll be hoping for more from their batters when it is their chance with bat in hand. A very good start. Just 4 runs from the first over and importantly, a wicket.
So having looked at that first encounter against Guyana at the Brown Lara Cricket Academy, I must admit that Coach Kelvin Williams, I'm sure would have echoed the sentiments that there were huge improvements, especially where the fielding, the fielding was not up to what it normally is, which is of a very high standard. 5 catches going down in that first encounter and 3 boundaries going through the fielders. I'm sure that he would have addressed that in their team meetings.
Kanika Kassar from the far end, and she starts with a wide.
So Kassar is normally a javelin thrower. Okay, she throws javelin for Trinidad and Tobago. So very strong athlete indeed. Powerfully built, a big unit in the real sense of the word. This one just back of her leg, maybe that 68 meter mark there, and going through to wicketkeeper Ruben.
Yeah, and you spoke about that strength, and we see the extra bounce from Kassar, a testament to that strength that she possesses.
So lovely conditions here at the UE Spec facility. The pitch just seems to have a little bit in it for the fast bowlers. We're seeing that ball just kissing the surface and going through to the keeper. Very encouraging signs indeed for a young aspiring fast bowler.
Yeah, definitely. And I noticed that there are a few fast bowlers in this Trinidad and Tobago side. I'm very excited by that as well. Normally when you see a Trinidad and Tobago team, it's filled with spinners.
Well, it does have at least 4 spinners in their ranks as well. So from a bowling perspective, they're well complemented both by the spin department and the fast bowling department as well. But it's going to be very interesting indeed to see when skipper Samara Ramnath brings the spinners into action.
White signaled once again by the standing umpire at that far end, Troy Tudor.
So Kassar just possibly is striving for that extra yard apiece, just losing her direction there, touching down outside that tram line and rightfully being called a wide. So that takes the score on to 6 for 1, and we are into over number 2. And a loud appeal here, and the dreaded finger goes up. So Kassar making the breakthrough here for Trinidad and Tobago. Wicket number 2. Excellent delivery, possibly beaten by the pace of Kassar. And the young lady there was camping on the back foot. And the dreaded finger goes up. So wicket number 2 goes for the Leeward Islands, and a very huge blow indeed for this Leeward Islands batting lineup.
Yeah, and that is the wicket of Magna Baisha, given LBW by the umpire. So very good start by the Trinidad and Tobago team. We did speak about how disciplined they have been with ball in hand, and Kassar following it a wide with a straight delivery, beating Baisha for pace and catching her on the crease. So first wicket for Kassar, second for Trinidad and Tobago. Leeward Islands 6 for 2.
And the Leeward Islands really have been put on the skids here by some very disciplined bowling indeed by this Trinidad and Tobago under 19 Divas, and they would want to make a statement, having suffered at the hands of the Guyana team in the first encounter.
Yeah, brings to the crease captain of this Leeward Island side, Jazara Claxton. Lots of experience Claxton has. She would have represented the West Indies on the 19 team in that inaugural on the 19 Women's World Cup held in South Africa last year. And she also played for the Leeward Islands senior side. She played crucial roles with both ball and bat. And she'll be hoping that she can contribute with the bat today for her side.
But very important indeed at this stage of the innings that someone of the caliber of Claxton really, take it upon herself, to take that responsibility, to ensure that they don't suffer further loss, but more importantly, try to stitch a partnership with a partner and get a something of a total that they feel that they can defend. But this Trinidad and Tobago team at this stage here is like a rush over this Leeward Islands batting here. They're all over the batters here, but we do know that all it takes is a partnership to start to develop, and the whole context of the encounter changes.
Yeah, definitely, and that's exactly what happened in that encounter against Barbados for this Leeward Island side. They were very important partnerships by the middle to lower order. Claxton herself did not contribute with the bat, but she would be happy that her side was able to win without a contribution for her. Today could be her day. The end of the second over, Leeward Islands on the 19 female team, 7 for 2.
So excellent bowling here from this TNT on the 19 team, led by Samara Ramnath, opening batter, off spinner. Didn't have the best of games against Guyana, getting out without scoring, without troubling the scorers in the first game, and she would want to put that right, having had the experience of playing at the senior level as well. So excellent bowling here from Amrita Ramtahal. Plays with the Central Sports Club out in Central Trinidad. As a matter of fact, I must tell you that 5 of those young ladies from that Central outfit is presently part of this Trinidad and Tobago outfit.
This one short and wide again, steered away to the fielder at the deep cover boundary, who does well running around to her left. Keeps it down to 1.
Lovely shot of the back foot there, just rocking onto the back foot, getting back and across and caressing that ball to that deep cover position where Manpaul doing the fielding, and rifles a return into the mid of wicketkeeper Ruben. So Amrita into a second over. Oh, no, lovely delivery indeed. Just touching down outside the line of the off stump. And her stock delivery is that outswinger that touches down and just goes away from the right hand. And here we're seeing evidence where that ball was just curling back into the left-hander's off stump. Beating all ends up. Claxton.
Ramtahal bowled 2 overs in that first game against Guyana. 2 overs for 13 runs. She didn't get a wicket in that game, so that first wicket she got today was her first wicket in the tournament. She'll be hoping to add to that tally.
Only just a couple of weeks celebrated her 15th birthday, Amrita Ramtahal. So very excited indeed to see these young ladies, at a very tender age of 15, making their debut at the Rising Star under 19 level.
Yeah, definitely, and that's good signs for Trinidad and Tobago cricket, but also for West Indies cricket. Very often, West Indies has been worrying about the youngsters, and if we had any youngsters coming through. It's good to see 15-year-olds being involved at this level.
So pitch up delivery there. Claxton just lent on that delivery, but excellent feeling from her own bowling from Amrita Ramtahal there. No run resulting, and at the end of over number 3. The
score is 10 for 2, just 3 runs from that Ramtahal over. She has 1 for 5 runs at the end of her 2 overs. You would expect that she will bowl at least one more.
Well, given what we've seen thus far, uh, if I'm Samara Ramnath, I'll be very tempted indeed, to give her another over, especially with the conditions favoring the seamers early at this early stage in the encounter.
Yeah, definitely. If it's working, keep them bowling.
If it's working, why change it? So it's going to be Kasa, is it? Yeah, it's going to be Kasa to continue from the pavilion end. Right arm fast, medium bowler. And a lovely delivery there from Kasa right up into the block hole. Not much. Sainam could have done with that delivery. But credit to Sainam there, looking at the delivery from the moment it left her arm until the moment that she made contact. Had she missed that ball, it would have definitely gone onto the stumps there.
Yeah, definitely targeting the stumps, Kasar.
Oh, and here we see the evidence of that extra pace from Kasar hustling Sainam there. She was beautiful run out, but nothing's doing there. It brings on strike Claxton.
Yeah, they were eventually able to cross for that single. Claxton calling through Kambalapali.
And as you would know, it's very important indeed that the rotation of the strike, especially sometimes if a batter is struggling at one end, the experience of Claxton there, making that single possible, seizing the opportunity from the moment it presented itself.
And it's exactly what this Leeward Islands team did well against Barbados as well. They ran really well in between the wickets, ran lots of singles to fielders who were in the circle.
Well, on this one, Claxton driving away outside the line of the off stump. It peels off the edge and goes down to third man.
Yeah, that one flew off the outer half of the bat, through the vacant slip position and down to the deep third region. Well set field by Ramnath. She knows with the extra pace that Kasar possesses, she is likely to inflict a few edges. It's easy for the ball to fly down to deep third or deep fine.
So given the fact that we are still in the power play overs, right, the first 6 overs, only 2 fielders are allowed outside that 25-meter circle. So both the fine leg and the third man is in position as we speak. Those are the 2 boundary riders within the power play overs. And back and across, caresses it out to extra cover. There's no run. So excellent bowling here from Kasar. Doing the business here for Trinidad and Tobago in this early stages in this encounter.
Yeah, I'm sure coach Kelvin Williams will be very happy. Extra bounce once more, well defended into the offside by Cam Balapali. And it's the end of a very good over by Kasar, just going for 2 runs. Scored 12 for 2 at the end of 4 overs.
So I'm sure that the Trinidad and Tobago think tank led by Mr. Kelvin Williams would have done their homework, having possibly looked at that Leeward Islands encounter against Barbados and identifying that this Leeward Islands batting lineup, they like the ball coming onto the bat, but they also like to drive the ball as well. So is it a case here that the TNT seamers have taken the opportunity to go into the pitch rather than try and pitch it up and look for swing?
Perhaps so far they've hit very good lengths. They found the right length to bowl on this surface, and they've made it quite difficult for the Leeward Islands batters.
So this is Ram Tahal. This one is played through the onside. They go for 1, they can turn in for 2, and they're going to get there very comfortable indeed. So that ball was straight on the stumps there. Claxton just got inside the line and worked it through that mid-wicket region, and they come back for 2.
Yeah, well played by Claxton. What she did well is she did not try to hit that one too square of the wicket. Turns this one onto the onside again. Dot delivery. It's a different challenge for Jazara Claxton in today's game. When she started against the Barbados side in that first round, she started against spin. She was adjudged LBW trying to sweep a ball. And I think perhaps this could work in her favor. She has time to get herself in against the Pacers before the spin is introduced.
Yes, indeed. She seems to possibly favor starting against the seamers in regards to starting against the spinners. So a good opportunity for her to assess the conditions and really try and set herself a very big one here at the UE Spec facility.
Definitely, and she'll hope that her partner Kambala Pali can stay with her. Young Kambala Pali was good with the bat in that Barbados game as well.
So whereas Claxton had shown that she's not the best starter against spin, Kampanali, she did really well against the Bajan spinners. She was basically giving them a workout in that backward point region, having scored possibly 3 boundaries through that backward point region during her innings against Barbados.
Yeah, that's why you must again reiterate the fact that the bowling of this Trinidad and Tobago side has been better. For the majority of the bowling so far, they've stayed on the stumps when bowling at Kambala Pali.
Lovely square drive from Claxton, but just finding the skipper at actually it's Brianna Haricharan is doing, no, is it Samara, the skipper, is doing the fielding at backward point. There's no run. A lovely flowing square drive. And this one is muscled past the bowler, but some excellent work at mid-on there from Kasa, diving away and saving what would have been a definite boundary there, saving her team 3 runs.
Yeah, definitely. The sort of support that every bowler will appreciate. Kasa herself being a bowler, well fielded by her, and she definitely saved 3 runs at the end of 5 overs. Leeward Islands 17 for 2.
So excellent bowling again, but well supported by the fielders from this Trinidad and Tobago team. Excellent indeed. Lovely flowing drive from Claxton. That looked like 4 from the moment it left the bat, but it had to take a special effort indeed in terms of fielding in order to stop that ball from going into the boundary. So Trinidad and Tobago really putting the skids on the scoring here now, and just as we are having this conversation, are we going to see the introduction of the skipper herself, Samara Ramnath?
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Young Samara Ramnath, very impressive off spinner, captain of this on the 19 Trinidad and Tobago side this year. She's bringing herself into the attack for the final over of the power play. One of 2 off spinners in the 11 players selected for this Trinidad and Tobago side today.
So she's going to be bowling with a 3rd man, a backward point, extra cover, square leg, mid wicket, and here we see someone has gone off temporarily. Zakia Harilal is making her way on the field. She's going into that short 3rd man position. Long on and long off.
And Zakia Harilal named the 12th person for today for this Trinidad and Tobago side. Also out are Naipal and Mitchell. Ramnath starts around the wicket to the left-handed Jazara Claxton.
Just short of a length there. Claxton just rocks onto the back foot, plays it out to extra cover where Brianna Haricharan does the fielding. There's no run. Lovely flighted delivery there from the skipper. Claxton choosing to camp onto the back foot there. Just playing it as late as ever. Out to extra cover.
Short again. And Claxton unable to time that delivery or pierce the gap. Picks out the fielder extra cover once more.
So Brianna Haricharan there doing the bulk of the fielding at this time.
This time she's able to get it past the diving fielder at backward point. Work for the 12th person to do immediately. She does well. Keeps the score to 2. So 2 runs added to the score. Leeward Islands move up to 20.
So short and wide from the skipper Samara Ramnath. But Claxton was good enough to bisect the backward point and the short third man. Zakia Harilal doing the chasing there and hauling in that ball, but they were able to get 2 comfortable runs in the end.
Score is 19 in fact. Another dot delivery. So Ramnath not yet going full. She does have a long on in place just in case she decides to tempt Claxton with a fuller delivery, but so far it's been back of a length. There's that slower one. Cut away, but finds the fielder at cover point. Cannot score. So 2 runs from Ramnath's first over at the end of the power play. Leeward Islands women 19 for 2.
So excellent power play indeed from this Trinidad and Tobago under 19 outfit. Being very disciplined indeed. Both Kasa and Amrita Ramtahal doing the business here for TNT, with the skipper taking the opportunity to bowl the final over of the power play. But immediately we see a double change, and Brianna Haricharan, the leg spinner, one of the leg spinners in this TNT team. As a matter of fact, they've got 3 right leg spinners in this team. Samara Naidu and Orozco are the 2 other leg spinners.
Yeah, and there are points on offer for wrist spinners. 0.2 points will be given for each wicket taken by a pace bowler or a wrist spinner.
So one could understand why that TNT have invested in 3 wrist spinners in their lineup.
And also why they've invested in so many pace bowlers. 5 pace bowlers in this lineup. Starts with a dot. Haricharan bowling to Kambalapali.
Kambalapali just works that ball onto the onside. Samira Naidu feeling at mid-wicket comes in and does the feeling.
Yeah, interestingly, there's no slip in place for the wrist spin. Short punch down to the fielder at mid-off.
Well, one would think that because the wrist spinner is in the early stages of her bowling stint, you want to give her the protection in case that she pulls down until she settles. So I'm just thinking that might be the thinking for the skipper there. But I must admit, it's excellent feeling indeed from young Zakia Harilal. Picking up, that ball was traveling like a bullet. She moved across to her left and not only made a spectacular stop, but also threw down the stumps at the wicketkeeper's end.
Yeah, excellent fielding.
So good cricket all around.
Yeah, very good. Really supporting the bowler. It wasn't the best delivery by Haricharan. Pulled down once more and slapped to the left of the fielder extra cover, but she did very well. Picked it up cleanly, spun, and she was able to hit the stumps direct. Fortunately for Leeward Islands, Kambalapali was able to make it back into her crease.
So as we were having the conversation in terms of the wrist spinners, they do have a tendency sometimes to have that drag down delivery. And Samara Ramnath immediately has gotten her boundary riders in place. And one that's going to come into play immediately. So that ball is just worked down into the leg side. There, Ruben, my apology, the wicketkeeper for today's encounter is Pagu, Tamika Pagu.
Yeah,
so
Tamika.
my apologies to Tamika.
Tamika Pagu.
He is all the way from the fishing village of Cedros, many miles away.
What part of Trinidad and Tobago is that?
Southwestern region,
okay.
yeah.
Pagu was able to take that first catch, which accounted for the wicket of Rosario.
And I'm sure that would have done her the world of good as well, having not played in the first encounter as well.
Haricharan to Claxton.
And
Short again.
this one is muscle down to mid-off, where Amrita Ramtahal gets in the way. So maybe at this stage, Claxton may be guilty of just trying to go a bit too hard. And this one, she comes down the wicket. She drives it down to mid-off. Excellent stuff from Amrita. That ball was travelling. Possibly a half chance there. But excellent footwork there from Claxton. Seizing the opportunity with some flight offered by Brianna Haricharan. She came down and drove handsomely. Unfortunately for her, she found the mid-off fielder in Amrita Ramtahal. But at the end of 7,
score is 21 for 2. So just 2 runs of that first over from Haricharan.
Not the best start, but I must also admit that it wasn't the best 6 balls we've seen in this contest thus far.
Yeah, definitely not the best 6 balls, but I'm sure she'll be happy that Leeward Islands weren't able to capitalize. Leeward Islands, on the other hand, especially Claxton, will be very disappointed with the fact that she was not able to find the gap with that last one that she drove so handsomely. It will be Ramnath to continue to Claxton. Claxton struggling to find the gap. She's hitting them quite firmly, but she continues to pick out the fielders, especially that fielder extra cover.
Excellent work there from Brianna Haricharan. So we're seeing that umbrella field working for Trinidad and Tobago on the offside. They seem to know exactly the areas that they want to cover. There's that umbrella field that is really, providing a lot of support for the likes of Samara Ramnath.
Yeah, it is the end of the power play, but Ramnath just having 2 fielders on the boundary, long on and deep mid wicket.
And one can understand why, because the Leeward Islands is not really going mile a minute. They're not tearing away at the bowling, so they can afford. And
that one put down. Claxton hit that one firmly to the fielder at cover.
Yeah.
She seemed as though she had it. Unfortunately for her, it just popped out at the last minute and too far away for her to hold on eventually, and that is a crucial chance Claxton put down at 10.
So I'm sure you're going to take some notes there, because that could be a very interesting aspect in terms of where this game goes if Claxton were able to stay to the end of this inning. So Zakia Harilal had it for a moment. She juggled it, but unfortunately she weren't able to hold on. So how costly this chance is going to be for Trinidad and Tobago, we'll only have to wait and see. And this one comes off the edge. It's heading along to third man. They go for 1, and that's all it's going to be.
Yeah, you have to feel for Zakia Ramlal there. She's been good since she's come onto the field as the substitute fielder. Remember, just 2 overs ago, she stopped one to her left, spun and threw down the stumps immediately. This time she was unable to hold on to that chance offered by Claxton. She'll hope it wouldn't be too costly.
So now we're seeing Samara Ramnath, the skipper, settling a bit here now. Those deliveries are just now a bit fuller, asking the likes of Claxton to go into those booming drives. Unfortunately for Claxton, on about 6 occasions, if my memory serves me well, she's been able to find that fielder at extra cover. So I'm just asking myself, maybe if it is that she possibly takes the pace of the shot, if she could look at the possibility of getting that rotation of the strike rather than just coming back and just hitting it with power straight to the fielder. Maybe a subtle touch, deft touch could come in for her to get her innings rolling.
Yeah, she has so much time. There are a couple of options for Claxton. This time she'll have to worry about Haricharan. Haricharan continuing to Kambalapali. Kambalapali 7 of 15 deliveries before that one was sent down.
Kampa Ali seems very organized indeed. It seems very good against spin. Pitch up delivery from Brianna Haricharan. and it's a commentator's curse. From the moment that she pulls it down, unfortunately, she's unable to find that gap between that backward point and cover point region. There's no run. Skipper Samara Ramna does the work there, cleaning up at backward point. And this one is just lofted over a mid-wicket, not getting the connection she would have liked. But it's great to see that the batters are still looking to show some intent at this stage of the innings.
Yeah, you must compliment Kambala Pali. What she's done well, the first and the third delivery of this over so far, she's used her feet, something we don't see very often from West Indian batters. So she's trying to find a way to score, get closer to the pitch of delivery. This one shorter, cut between backward point and the fielder cover point. They will chase. 2 runs added to the total. Finally, Clarkson is able to find a gap. She moves on to 13.
It's a short and wide from Harry Charan, bisecting the backward point to her left and cover to her right. Is she able to come back comfortably for 2 runs? But we're seeing a change of field now. Orozco is heading out to that deep cover position. So the skipper making the adjustment.
Attempts a sweep, loud appeal, not out, says the umpire.
But that ball always seems to be heading down the leg side. Possibly Claxton maybe kicking herself there, telling herself that she possibly missed an opportunity to cash in.
Yeah, this will be an interesting battle. A spin to the left-handed Claxton, hitting into the wind.
So
Another dot delivery to end the over.
Yeah. So as we continue to confer in terms of the wrist spinners or the left arm orthodox spinners, we tend to label it a matchup with the ball spinning back into the left-hander. Once it's middle and leg, it's basically, if you want to take it on, it's like a free hit. So I'm sure Claxton will be very aware of that.
Yeah, a matchup which normally is in favor of the batter. So far, though, Haricharan has come out on top. She's sent down 2 overs and she's just gone for 5 runs. So this is brilliant, and we must commend Ramna for the end that she's used the wrist spinner from as well. She's asking Claxton to hit into the wind, to that big boundary as well.
So here we see the introduction of the second leg spinner. Orozco comes in to the attack from the pavilion end. A right arm leggy.
Perhaps this could be more interesting. Perhaps an opportunity for the left-handed Claxton hitting with the wind. When she gets on straight, it will become Balapali to face the first ball from Orozco.
So short. Kampalapali just looking to cut that delivery, possibly a bit more bonks than she anticipated, and just coming off with the under edge, and is fielded. A lovely delivery here, but that's going down the leg side. Very lucky indeed. Kampala Ali possibly thought that she missed out there. Any connection there would have given her at least 2 runs down to that fine leg region. Very good indeed.
Wide signaled by umpire Troy Tudor. Score moves on to 28 for 2. Kambalapali 8 from 19 deliveries. Claxton 13 from 28. So slow going for the Leeward Islands ladies so far. That's because of a very disciplined start by this Trinidad and Tobago side. They've put down 1 catch. Just 1 catch so far. That of Claxton, who is still there. Full delivery. Swung away into the breeze. Fielder cannot get in to catch it. Just 1 run added to the total.
So very friendly full toss indeed. Kampalali could have hit that anywhere. She almost found that fielder Manpaul at the deep mid-wicket boundary there. Luckily for her, she didn't get the connection, and it fell about 5 meters in front of her, but a single nevertheless. The scores goes up by 1. It's 29 for 2.
And the fielders in the deep on that leg side, when Kambalapali is on strike, seem to be right back on the boundary. It is a massive hit there. Perhaps they can come off the boundary a few, get themselves in the game, at least to save 2 runs, and perhaps she would have had a chance to come up with that catch.
Well, I'm sure they would have possibly seen some videos from the last game in terms of her power. And here we see Claxton possibly just taking her eyes off the ball at the very last moment and missing out on a very friendly full toss indeed. Short, and this one is hit through the onside. Skipper Samara Ramla does some excellent work at the backward square, and it only results in a single. So at the end of the first 10 overs of this contest, the Leeward Islands are 30 for 2. Claxton on 14, and Kampalali, she's on 9. So we are back live here at the UE Spec facility. At my side is no other than Shakira Salmon, West Indies fast bowler.
Former
West Indies.
I'm
former
retired
West.
now.
So here we see the introduction of Samira Naidu. So the third leg spinning option is on from the UE spec end, or the spec end as we call it here at St. Augustine.
Yeah, she replaces Brianna Haricharan. Signed on 2 overs for just 6 runs. Beats the outside edge of Jazara Claxton.
Yeah, someone of the nature of Samira Naidu. She's not a big spinner of the ball, but she does have a very potent slider indeed. So someone like the likes of Claxton, she's got to be a bit watchful in the early stages against Samira.
This one short, pulled away behind square, but there is protection coming off the boundary. In fact, the fielder from the circle runs around from 45 and keeps it down to 1. Brings the right-handed Kambala Pali on strike.
So we see that the deep mid-wicket is going into position. There's a deep extra cover. Samira has opted for a mid-off rather than a long-off. And Amrita Ramtahal doing duties at long-on. Oh, this one not making the connection. It was there, it was short, it was inviting, but she didn't get the connection. Just seems to mistime it. Dropping agonizingly close there to Brianna Haricharan at that extra cover position.
And it has been the theme so far for the Leeward Islands batters. They've continually struggled with their timing today. Had lots of opportunities to score from very slow, sharp bowling. They haven't been able to capitalize, eventually allowing the Trinidad and Tobago bowlers to find a rhythm.
And here we see this one is lofted into the onside, and they're gonna turn for the second. Yes, they're gonna get it. So the lofted shot there from Kambal Pali.
Yeah, very well bowled by Orozco Naidu, in fact.
Yeah.
She tossed that delivery up and invited the batter to use her feet. Kambala Pali deciding to oblige. This time it's short and it's wide. Kambala Pali is able to get inside the line of the ball and swing it behind square on the leg side. And they cross for 2. So from some urgency being shown by the Leeward Islands batters since that water break.
So I'm sure the coach would have echoed, that we need to have a move on, from this stage here. And it doesn't have to be careless aggression. It just have to be taking a measured approach, and more importantly, taking advantage of those deliveries that that you could pounce on.
Uses her feet again. She swings this one down to the fielder at the long on boundary, who is way off the boundary on this occasion, hoping to get the opportunity to take a catch. Falls short of her one more time. The end of this over, score is 37 for 2. 11 overs completed. Partnership up to 30 runs.
So 7 runs coming in that over, and possibly the only over thus far in this innings that has gone for 7 runs.
Yeah, definitely the most expensive over so far. And it wasn't because it was a bad over. There's just been some more intensity by the batters since that water break. Tossed up 2 deliveries, Naidu, and thought she bowled very well.
So it's going to be Orozco to continue. Jessica, right hand leg spinner.
Deep backward square, deep mid wicket. Long on. The boundary riders on the leg side. This one hit between that fielder at deep mid wicket and long on. They're finding the pockets now, the Leeward Islands batters.
So excellent use of the feet there, getting to the pitch of the ball there, Campanelli, and lofting that ball into that deep mid-wicket region, and coming back quite comfortably for the second run. So we have seen in the recent past some aggression, and here she goes again.
Will it be taken? Fielder from the long around boundary runs around and she takes it. A very good catch, and she made it look so easy down on that long on boundary. Kambala Pali using her feet once more, trying to loft that one over the bowler's head. This time she falls. Kambalapali goes for 16 from 26 deliveries. Orozco gets her first wicket today.
And I'm just trying to figure out who took the catch, but it seems like it's Delia Espinosa. We'll just wait on the confirmation.
Yeah, whoever it was on the long on boundary, she moved to her left swiftly and made it look so easy. She was very comfortable under that catch. A very good catch and good bowling once again. Orozco not afraid to toss that delivery up and ask Kambalapali to hit her over the top. What Kambalapali has done on every occasion she's used her feet is she's just dipped at the last moment, getting under the ball, getting that right shoulder dipping, getting under the ball, trying to loft the ball every time. This time she picks out the fielder. So crucial breakthrough for this Trinidad and Tobago side, breaking that partnership. Partnership was up to 32. Scored 39 for 3 after 11.2.
And, great rewards for Roscoe for, giving that ball some generous flight and asking the batters to come and, get to her.
Yeah, started short in her first over at Roscoe, but this time she's found her length and she's really giving it generous flight, asking batters to use their feet. She comes up trumps. Full again. Kimberly Anthony, the new batter at the crease, swings it away and it's straight into the hands at the fielder at deep mid wicket and out. Second chance but down by Trinidad and Tobago side. Kimberly Anthony is given a life.
Yeah, Mampole down at that deep mid wicket position there. For a moment I thought she had it in, but it was in and out. So it continues to Trinidad and Tobago. The catching has not been the best. It has been sporadic, if I may say so.
Yeah, you thought for certain she had it. She got her round to her left very nicely. It was in her hands, and for some reason she just could not hold on to it long enough. Eventually fell out of her hands. Kimberly Anthony was able to cross, gets off the mark immediately, and she's not someone who's going to hang around. So she's someone you want out. She spends time at the crease, she will score, Kimberly Anthony.
Yeah, she seems to be someone who will take the game on.
Yeah, she did play for the Leeward Island senior side as well. She played some very important knocks, hit some lustly blows as well. Hit a couple sixes against the senior sides during that competition. Sweeps on this occasion. Claxton picks out the fielder at short fine leg.
So Mohit doing the feeling there at that short third man position. Actually, Mohit is the second off spinning option in this GNT lineup as well.
Yeah, not yet required. That's because the 6 bowlers used so far have shown lots of discipline and control. This one short and pulled away in front of square. Can the fielder get around? She does. They're able to cross for 2 runs.
So excellent feeling there from Ruben. Getting her body behind the ball and ensuring that she made that stop. So at the end of over number 12, a 42 for 3. Very important partnership indeed for both the Leeward Islands here.
Yeah, certainly. They lost 1 wicket in that over, but they got 5 runs. So it still means at least the scoring rate has increased. The projected score at this rate is now 70. For majority of the innings, they had only been scoring at around 2.8 and over. It's now gone up to 3.5. So Leeward Islands 42 for 3 at the end of 12.
So it's going to be Samira Naidu from the pavilion end, from the UE spec end, my apology. She's bowling to Anthony, Kimberly Anthony, having represented the Leeward Islands senior team. Someone who does have the ability to hit a long ball, as we say.
She does, and she played a very handy knock against the Barbados side in that first encounter. Struck a few boundaries and a few maximums. You can just tell from that back lift and the back speed that she's not coming to play around. She's looking to hit the ball to the boundary on every occasion.
But more importantly, at this stage she will want to make a statement as well, in that I'm out here for business.
Yeah, definitely. And her job will be to score off as many balls as possible.
Well, I'm sure the Leeward Islands would be looking towards her, to do a lot of the heavy lifting at this stage of the innings.
Yeah, certainly with all her experience. She is the vice captain of this side, Kimberly Anthony. and it's also her birthday today. She turns 19 today, Kimberly Anthony.
So we want to wish her many, many more birthdays, Kimberly. And hopefully today would be your day as well. You know, you'll want to celebrate it in grand style by
Yeah.
producing something special.
She will be hoping for a win. She'll be hoping certainly to contribute to her side taking a second win in this competition so far.
If anything, Shakira, looking at the running, it doesn't seem to have that urgency that you would love to see. We do know that Anthony is a big unit, but when the ball is hit 60 meters out to the boundary, you would expect that they would try at least to show some intent in getting that second run, at least put the fielders under pressure.
But she ran well in that game against Barbados. She was in a partnership where they ran lots of singles to the fielders in the circle, ran hard when the ball was hit on the boundary. But I think these two know that they are key to whatever the final total is, and perhaps they don't want to take too many risks so early. You wouldn't want Anthony being run out when she can cause so much damage
At the back end of the innings. So
certainly.
it could be a calculated approach to at this stage of the inning, so that they set it up maybe for the last five where they could have a blast. But Samira Naidu continues to bowl well here at UE Spec. And yeah, she's swinging into the heavens. That ball just spinning away from the outside edge. So excellent over again from Samira Naidu, one of the 5 players from that Central Sports unit, making a debut at 15 as well. So it's great to see that, these young ladies are being given the opportunity, to express themselves and by extension, nurture their talent.
Yeah, definitely, and to nurture their talent in front of what seems to be a crowd building on the side there. So there are some spectators and lots of young spectators in that group as well, who hopefully we will see one day on this screen representing their country.
Well, as we do know, Shakira, the women's game is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's very heartening indeed, to witness a lot of youngsters here coming out and having a look at the game, especially young ladies.
Yeah, certainly. It's a real career choice now for young ladies. Remember when I started eons ago, there weren't so many people playing cricket, and perhaps never expected to see so many youngsters playing. It's really good to see that now we have so many options. Very heartening to see lots of 15-year-olds being involved in the game. Kassar back into the attack for her third over. Kassar, she got 1 wicket for 5 runs in her first spell.
Well, excellent bowling change, if you ask me, Shakira, in that skipper Samira Ramnath is just she's mixing it up. She's not allowing the batters to get set against any set of bowlers, so she's really mixing it up here. And when that happens, from a feeling perspective, the batters now have to reset themselves when you have that changes taking place.
And she's also gone to one of her key bowlers, perhaps thinking that a pacer, this bowler with the extra pace, could break this partnership. She doesn't want this partnership to blossom. So this is a very important change from her. She just wants Kassar to bowl fast and at the stumps. She's just sent out extra protection on the leg side boundary. So continuing to target the pads, Kassar. This one turned away behind square. Single to Claxton.
And you being a former fast bowler yourself, how exciting is it to have that new cherry in your hand?
Yeah, not so fast, but I love bowling with the new ball because I rely very heavily on the swing. The ball doesn't swing for very long. So I really enjoyed the overs I got to bowl with that new cherry in hand. Got the ball to outswing, going away from the right-handed batters. And we saw some of that here from the youngsters as well. Kassar was able to get the ball to swing away initially, and then she got some to straighten when she was bowling to the right-handed batters. We also saw some outswing from Ram Tahal. Swung away to the fielder, coming off the deep square leg boundary. Looks to be Samara Ramnath, captain, doing
and she
the
seems
work
to be
herself.
all over the place, as Samara Ramnath, Shakira.
Yeah, very often you want to see your captain in the circle, but I am one who believes that if you're the best fielder, you have to be in the hot spots. You have to be where you expect the ball to come. So good on Ramnath, trusting her vice captain Brianna Haricharan to lead the troops in the circle, and she has put herself in key positions on the boundary. This one swung down to the fielder at long off, falls well short.
So that's Mampole coming off the long off boundary. A single. 47 for 3, and we just one ball away from the 14th over. But it does bring the very dangerous Kimberly Anthony on strike. Let's see if she's going to go into the block hole here now. With that very high backlift.
And this is exactly why she was brought back into the attack, Kanisha Sir. She wanted her to bowl fast and straight at the stumps, and she's beaten Kimberly Anthony for pace, and she gets the crucial wicket. So a second wicket for Kassar. Leeward Islands now 47 for 4.
And at this stage, in a spot of bother, 14 overs are in the books now, Shakira. But Kassar coming up with the goods there for Trinidad and Tobago, getting rid of the dangerous Anthony there. And to me, she just seems to be setting herself up. Maybe Samara, and I want to give her the credit in that she probably sized up the situation well. With Anthony being at the crease, she could do some collateral damage if she stays there for an extended period of time. Bring back Kassar, one of your main seamers, and getting the result immediately.
Yeah, what they've done by bringing back that pacer to Anthony, they've given her less time to react. In that game against Barbados, she scored lots of runs against the spinners. In particular, Barbados only used one pacer in that game, so she faced all spinning her innings. So this time, they've given her a different challenge, and she's unable to counter that. And she falls for just 3 runs, brings Aaliyah Weeks to the crease.
So Kimberly Anthony, because of her height, the length to the spinners, they would have had to make subtle adjustments as well, because the different lengths will definitely come into play with the different players in terms of their reach and their ability to use their feet to the spinners. But it's going to be Harry Charan is going to come back into the attack here from the UE spec end.
She will continue to Jazara Claxton.
Oh.
For a chance for a stumping. Very well bowled, but wide given by the standing umpire.
So you've got to feel for the wicketkeeper here, Shakira. She had to go very wide indeed in order to haul in the ball and then bring it back to the stumps. But great intent from Claxton as well. She is looking to take on the mantle here now of doing the bulk of the scoring, is Claxton.
Yeah, I don't think she picked that one. It wasn't the leg spinner that was sent down. I think Haricharan saw her coming and decided to push it wide.
Yeah, she did deceive her. At the last moment, she made that adjustment. So intelligent bowling indeed from Brianna Haricharan. Brianna Haricharan had the opportunity to play for Trinidad and Tobago at the senior level this year, and I'm sure that would have done a world of good for her. Not only getting the opportunity to play, but to grow amongst the senior group.
Yeah, certainly. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Cricket West Indies did ask that at least 2 girls were in each squad under 21. So what it would have done is given the opportunity to these youngsters to learn from the experience of all those senior players who would have represented the region at the highest level. She would have been in the team with Brittany Cooper, Leanne Kirby, and Kirbina Alexander, all who have represented West Indies, and also Karishma Ramarat, who was vice captain of the team initially and then ended up captaining that side. So I'm sure she would have learned from all of those girls.
And just being in that dressing room environment would have done her the world of good in terms of how they prepare, how they do things, and more importantly,
Faster ball. This one swung away to the fielder in the deep. And again, the fielder is right back on the boundary. Too much work to do. Cannot come in and take the catch, but she's able to keep it down to 1.
So excellent work there from Zakia Harilal there. And as you rightly said, Shakira, maybe they could possibly come maybe 2 or 3 meters off the boundary, give them that head start that they need in order to make those half chances, into possibly catches.
The 50 has come up for this Leeward Island side.
But it has been a very painful one indeed. At no point in time we've seen any of the batters, really being fluent. And I'm asking myself if it's a case where the surface itself, is maybe too pace, Shakira, that it's not helping with the batters with their timing.
Yeah, particularly when the spinners have had the ball in hand, it seemed very slow. And it's the reason that we've seen the batters struggle with the timing. Batters have seemed to have lots of time. They haven't been able to wait long enough to pierce the gap.
And a
Loud
lovely
appeal, not out, said by the umpire.
So well pitched up delivery there from Brianna. Weeks looking to drive that ball. So again, that was definitely a single there, but not the best communication between both Claxton and Weeks. So the score remains at 51 for 4 after over number 15. So 5 overs to go, Shakira. How are you going to approach this as a batting team?
And the first thing I'm thinking is it means there are at least 30 legal deliveries left. So you want to score at least 30 runs. You want to be able to score off every delivery that comes down. And then you want to capitalize on the bad deliveries that will be sent down. You also want to be looking for tools when the ball is hit into the deep, especially that far boundary on what will be Claxton's offside. Put pressure on the fielders and look for tools. So minimum, at least get to 81, which means you have to score off every ball. 30 from the next 30 balls.
So the skipper comes on from the pavilion end. Samara Ramnath. And it's back to normal programming.
Ramnath to Claxton. Claxton finds the fielder extra cover.
Well, yeah.
This time she creates some room for herself, backs away to the leg side and plays it very late, hitting it a lot squarer to the right of the fielder at backward point. Gets a single.
So excellent feeling again from Zakia Harilal there at that backward point region. Giving herself some room is Claxton, but not being able to pierce the gap. But nevertheless, she was able to get a single. And excellent again from the skipper. Pitched up delivery. Weeks not sure if to go onto the back foot or have a swipe. She seemed like she wanted to try and go across the line of flight there. So the skipper continues from the pavilion end, having a wonderful spell thus far.
Batter walks away very belatedly. So not given a dead ball by the umpire. So it goes down as a dot delivery.
Very strange indeed.
Yeah, certainly. I think the umpire would have decided that she moved a lot too late there earlier weeks.
And this one is played out to backward point. Samira Naidu does the feeling. So again, we're seeing skipper Samira Ramnath bringing back on Kassar, getting the breakthrough, and goes back to normal traffic in terms of slowing the pace down. And as we witnessing, the pitch just seems to be a bit too pace at this stage.
Yeah, well, it proves that planning has gone into the efforts of the Trinidad and Tobago side, and Cassar perhaps was brought back specifically for Kimberly Anthony. She did her job, and now she's taking out of the attack.
Well,
Very good captaincy by Samara Ramnath, because sometimes as a captain, I know it's easy to want to continue to someone when they've taken a wicket, but she stuck to the plans and she's taken her off, and now she saved her for when she needs her again, perhaps maybe the 19th or the 20th over.
So it tells me, Shakira, that Casa is going to be using very short spurts, and her job is to get a wicket.
And that's what you want to do if you're faster bowlers. You ask them to bowl fast, a short burst. You tell them at the top of the mark, give me a short burst, just one over as fast as you can. You get a rest after.
And here we see the reintroduction of Amrita Ramtal. This one is played down to a cover point where Ruben does the fielding, and Claxton is able to come back for two.
And Ramtal bowled 3 overs in that initial spell, 3 overs in the power play. Got the first wicket of Rosario, caught behind by wicketkeeper Pagu, and she's in for her final over. This one swung away, a chance for the fielder at long on, and it's shelled in and out. Another drop catch, third catch put down by this Trinidad and Tobago side. Claxton is given another life. Remember, she was initially dropped on 10 off the bowling of Ramnath, and that was in the 7th over. She's moved on to 23 now.
And it's Casa, the culprit on this occasion. And at this level of the game, Shakira, you can't hide people. They've got to take responsibility to catch a ball.
Sure, again, chance. Clears the fielder at extra cover. Another run for the Leeward Island side. Importantly, Aaliyah Weeks gets her captain Claxton back on strike.
Yeah, so every ball, that should be the rule of Weeks. Aaliyah Weeks. And on this occasion, Claxton just seems to be going a bit too hard at the ball too early. Not getting the timing at all. Maybe just possibly give herself a bit more time before she executes. Oh, and that's a very well played shot there. Badly lined delivery by Amrita Ramtahal. And Claxton was equal to the task. Just taking that ball and lofting it into the deep backward square region, and a very welcome boundary indeed for the Leeward Islands.
Yeah, certainly. Way too straight on this occasion by Ramtahal, bowling around the wicket to the left-handed Claxton. Fielder at square leg is in the circle, so all she had to do is beat that fielder in the circle. She's able to get a boundary. Finally, she's able to capitalize on one. 8 runs from the over so far. Leeward Islands 60 for 4. 1 ball remaining in the 17th. Should just be a single to end the over. So but 9 runs from the 17th over. Leeward Islands 61 for 4.
And you being a former fast bowler yourself, I'd like to refer to you as a fast bowler, Shakira. I know it does hurt very much indeed when you put your best effort in and you're not helped at all by your fellow teammates when it comes to the catching. I know it does not resonate well within yourself, but at the end of the day, you got to pick yourself up and carry on with the effort.
Yeah, certainly. It's very disappointing when the catch is put down off your bowling, but you have to find a way to stay in the game. Put that behind you and stay in the game. There's still 3 overs left, and Cassar would need to feel as though she has the support of her teammates after putting on that catch. Ramtahal obviously would be disappointed, but she too has to focus on the other 18 legal deliveries that will be sent down. She doesn't want to be focusing on the fact that she could have had a second wicket. So as disappointing as it may be, it's part of the game. Mistakes will be made, catches will be dropped, people will misfield. You have to stay in the game, keep supporting each other, and focus on what's to come.
So Casa is going to be brought back into the attack again. So Samara is using her in 1-over spells.
Yeah, really chopping and changing at this stage. Cassar perhaps not wanting to become predictable to Claxton especially, who's moved on to 31 after facing 52 deliveries. Starts with a full delivery, swung away in front of square. Should just be one run. They cross for 2. Pressure on the fielder and good running. This is what you wanted to see initially, the early stages. Every time the ball was hit to the fielder on the boundary here on the leg side, they've only crossed for 1. Now it's crunch time, and they're no pushing for 2. And this is something you want to see your batters doing from the start of the innings.
From ball 1.
From ball 1. Too often it only happens at the end of the innings.
I'm surprised that Trinidad and Tobago is using Ruben on that deep backward square position. Oh, this one comes off the outer edge, is it? We wait on the umpire. Yeah. Oh, it's a leg by. So again, Claxton beaten for pace there. She was going through that mid-wicket region, looking for that pull shot, not making any connection whatsoever, not making contact.
Importantly for Trinidad and Tobago, Aaliyah Weeks is on strike, and they will want to keep her on strike for majority of this over. You see Ramnath bringing the fielder from deep cover into the circle. Unfortunately, it's missed by Pagu behind the stumps. It is a wide. Umpire Troy Tudor has his arms stretched.
So Tamika Pagu, another member of the Central Sports Unit. So today, 4 Central Sports young ladies, Tamika Pagu, making her debut at this level for this season, playing her first game.
I'm being told you're the coach of this Central Sports Unit. Oh, that's why you're speaking so proudly. Chance for a run out, and I think she may be gone. Excellent fielding by Cassar. Athleticism being shown. They tried to cross for a quick single. Unfortunately, Aaliyah Weeks was not able to get there in time. Alert! Cassar was able to throw down the stumps in one motion, and they lose a 5th wicket.
So 5 wicket back in the shed here. The Leeward Islands really struggling at this stage here now, and it's going to take a huge effort from Claxton herself to take this mantle on herself to get that to some level of respectability at this stage, Shakira.
Yeah, certainly, but good awareness by Kanika Cassar. Very good awareness by her. You would not have been expecting Claxton to scramble for a single because you want to see her on strike. But perhaps she's thinking every single run counts. Aaliyah Weeks not alert to the fact that her captain would have been calling her through for such a tight single. And she's unable to make it 65 for 5 after 17.3.
But it's something that I'm sure that the Leeward Islands think tank, before Weeks would have come out to bat, Shakira, they would have echoed the sentiments that as much as possible you have to try and get Claxton on strike for the majority of the deliveries that are left in the innings.
And it was Claxton trying to get off straight on that occasion. That's why I said it was surprising. But Jasanique Hodge, the new batter to join her captain, right-handed batter, and she will face Cassar. Slight misfield gives the opportunity for a single. Claxton aware and alert to that opportunity, and she gets herself back on straight. Hodge off the mark immediately.
Yeah, so some untidy work there. Possibly just taking her eyes off the ball at the very last moment.
Remember, Claxton was dropped on
10.
10 in the 7th over. She was dropped again on 26. She's now 33. So it's into the block hole. She's able to get back on it. Swung away. And good work by the fielder coming off the boundary. Chance for a run out. Decides to turn. So good result for Qatar and Trinidad and Tobago. Claxton all strike. No boundaries off this over so far. But 6 runs coming from it.
So we are into over number 18, 67. 67 for 5. Doesn't really paint a good picture.
This one driven beautifully in the gap between extra cover and mid-off.
And some excellent work there from Amrita Ramtahal at mid-off, tracking back and ensuring that the score doesn't exceed, they don't get more than 2 runs.
So the end of Qatar's spell, 4 overs, 2 wickets for 14 runs, 16 dots in that spell. So very good bowling by Qatar. Very good bowling as well by Ramtahal, who has also completed her quota. She's bowled 4 overs, gotten 1 for 16. Should have had a second wicket. But good numbers for the 2 opening bowlers for this Trinidad and Tobago side.
Well, to me, they've summed up the Trinidad and Tobago unit. They've summed up the conditions really well. And skipper Samara Ramnath, she's really rotated the bowlers very impressively indeed.
What she's also done for this Trinidad and Tobago side is they found a way to accumulate points, bonus points, 0.2 points for each wicket taken by a pacer or a wrist spinner. And so far, the pacers have taken 3 wickets. Wrist spinners taken 1.
So that's 0.8 in the bag thus far. So it's going to be Brianna Haricharan.
Another chance for her catch, and that one put down again by the fielder extra cover. Claxton survives.
So Samira Naidu, the culprit there, putting down that sitter at extra cover. It was hit straight to her. All she had to do was get it in, hold it in. Unfortunately, not being able to do so. So catch number 3 goes down for TNT.
They seem to be enjoying Claxton's innings. They don't want to get her out. She's been put down 3 times out of 4 drop chances. Draw on 10, 26, and now 34.
So at some stage, Shakira, drop catches are going to hurt you. And hurt you in a very big way.
I'll tell you what, this Trinidad and Tobago side struggled to score 94. She's bowled down actually. So swing across the line by Jazaneet Hodge. And Brianna Haricharan gets her first wicket today. So another wicket to a wrist spinner. Second to a wrist spinner so far. Well bowled, targeting the stumps. You miss, I hit.
So 1 point is secured. Which is very important in the context of this competition where bonus points are given, bowling bonus points as well as batting points as well. So Trinidad and Tobago have secured an extra point in this contest by being able to achieve 5 wickets via fast bowling and wrist spinning points.
A very important point after losing that first game, the Trinidad and Tobago side.
And a point in a competition of this nature, Shakira, could be the difference between winning and coming second. So I'm sure the TNT team, they're looking to bounce back very strong indeed, but still a long way to go.
Yeah, certainly they'll want to make sure they win the game firstly though. And I was saying that they struggled to score 94 against Guyana. And this Leeward Islands bowling lineup is actually pretty good. The Pacers have done well for Trinidad and Tobago. And remember, Jazara Claxton is very good with ball in hand. So too is Kimberly Anthony. So they will be challenged. It's the reason they must ensure they take their chances. Limit the scoring as much as they can. A bit of turn on that occasion by Haricharan.
But I must admit, having looked at last year's Rising Star on the 19 tournament, this year the teams they seem to be better prepared. You know, the Leeward Islands team, I'm very impressed indeed from that first game.
There are a number of USA players playing for this Leeward Islands side. I'm also told a few players from Bermuda.
So I had the opportunity to work with the opener. What's her name?
Was that Rosario?
Rosario, yeah. Recently in Atlanta, she was playing with Bermuda in the Georgia T20 tournament with Bermuda.
Another misview. Fortunately for Naidu. Doesn't cost the team.
So very exciting young player indeed. The young fast bowler opens the batting as well.
That is certainly out. Direct hit by the fielder on the 45. Claxton trying to get a quick single to retain the strike. Unfortunately, Skerritt does not make it, and another wicket falls via the run-out route.
So
72 for 7.
excellent feeling from Mohit at that 45. They're picking up and shying at the stumps at the strikers end and getting the reward. Direct hit, more often than not, Shakira does result in a wicket. But again, it's great to see the intensity. It's great to see the aggression from the TNT fielders. Unfortunately, I have to say, Coach Kelvin Williams will not be a happy camper when it comes to the catching aspect of it.
Yeah, they've put down 4 catches today so far. The Trinidad and Tobago side, 5 in that first encounter for today. It makes a total of 9 in just 2 games.
And it could be the difference between winning the competition and possibly coming second, because as we know, Guyana is a powerhouse when it comes to cricket in the region, and I'm sure they're not going to let up. They're not going to let up in terms of wanting to win the title. Last year, Trinidad and Tobago were winners, but they would want to change that this year, having defeated the champions of last year.
Final over coming up. Outside edge. The cross for 1. Surprisingly, Claxton comes back for a second, which means she still lost straight, but 2 vital runs added to the total.
And just coming back from our earlier conversation with the ball, now we're seeing evidence where the ball is spinning off the surface. That slip now could be very handy indeed in picking up some more points in regards to the wrist spinners.
Perhaps, but if she was reluctant to use that slip initially, I can't see her putting in a slip for the last over. Samara Ramnath.
Well, I tell you something, sometimes, as a captain, you've got to seize the opportunity. You've got to seize the opportunity based on what is in front of you in terms of the batters. And I'm saying that in the context, if Claxton is batting, you're not going to put a slip. But, no disrespect to the Leeward Islands batting, but, the lower order, it has not really shown much in that regard.
Forgive me, I actually thought that was the start of a new over. In fact, it was the final ball of the 19th over. So it does mean that Claxton is on strike for the final over. Claxton is 35 from 57 deliveries. Score is 74 for 7 at the end of 19. So just how many runs can the Leeward Islands team get from this final over? And it will be sent down by the captain, who's been very economical all day, Samara Ramnath. She's sent down 3 overs for just 5 runs, even though she's not taking a wicket.
But what she's done really well, she stemmed the tide when it comes to the scoring.
This one pulled away. Chance for the fielder at long on to get around. She cannot. And they cross for 2 runs. Claxton choosing to go through the leg side on this occasion. For the entire spell sent down by Ramnath so far, she's been trying to hit her through or over the offside. She's been unable to score. This time she goes to a different route.
Well, it's great to see that Claxton now is looking at different options, scoring options in that regard, and doing so very effectively indeed.
Slaps this one to the right of the fielder at cover point. Gets a single. Courtney Brown is on strike. Four legal deliveries remaining. Off the outside edge. They cross for a quick single. So very good awareness being shown by Courtney Brown. She's scored off every delivery she's faced so far. And importantly, she's gotten her captain on strike for the final 3 deliveries.
And I'm sure Claxton will want to capitalize on these last 3 deliveries, possibly taking the score, maybe anywhere close to that 90, 90.
I was just looking around the field and I thought to myself, just 3 fielders on the boundary in the last over with Clarkson on strike.
That's playing Russian roulette, yeah?
She decided to send back the fielder from mid on to long on. Now she changes her mind and brings her into the circle again. So just 3 fielders on the boundary. Ha ha ha! Brilliant innovation by Jazara Clarkson, and she finds the gap behind point. An important boundary.
So excellent innovation there from Clarkson there. Going for the reverse option here on this occasion.
And she gets herself into the 40s now. Clarkson, she moves on to 42.
So you take 32 out of that total, and you know exactly where we should be at this stage.
Tries again. Loud appeal. Not out, says the umpire. Clarkson down on the ground. But importantly, she's still there, and she's there to face the final delivery, attempting that reverse hit once more.
Well, intelligent cricket from Samara Ramnath, having been ramped the delivery before, decided that she's going to go right up into the block hole, which makes it very difficult indeed to affect that shot.
Cross for a quick run. Chance for a run out. And she is run out. Well done by wicketkeeper Pagu. So she started well and ended well, Pagu. Courtney Brown run out of the final delivery of the innings. Leeward Islands women finish on 82 for 8.
So I'm sure that the Leeward Islands, they with their batting, with their bowling lineup that they have, they would definitely fancy themselves, Shakira, to defend this 82. But Trinidad and Tobago, coming off a loss against Guyana, they will want to put the batting right. And just maybe Coach Kelvin Williams may look at the opportunity to possibly reshuffle that batting order for this encounter. But it's just in that encounter, skipper Samara Ramnath opened the batting. Brianna Haricharan came at 4. So we just have to wait and see if he is going to tinker with the batting lineup, or is it going to be normal programming as usual. So we're going to take a break, and as soon as the action resumes, we're going to come right back to you. Welcome back to the UE Spec facility. Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 girls taking on the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. I would like to welcome back Shakira Salmon. Pleasant good afternoon to you, Shakira.
Good afternoon to you as well. Good afternoon to viewers who have just joined us. And if you have just joined, Leeward Islands women taking on Trinidad and Tobago. They won the toss, opted to bat first. They got to 82 for 8 at the end of their allotted 20 overs. It means then that Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 women need 83 to win. It will be Kimberly Anthony with the ball in hand, and she will be bowling to Ramnath. Loud appeal first up. Not out, says the umpire.
So Anthony starting off very well indeed. Ramnath possibly playing a bit lazy there. Guilty of playing a little bit lethargic. And the ball rifles into the pads. There's no run.
So no ball called by the standing umpire. It will mean that it is a free hit. Free hit being signaled by umpire Troy Tudor from Barbados. So Ramnath being given an opportunity to score early.
Well, not only to score, but to extend those levers, and that possibly could give her the impetus that she needs to take into this innings.
And she swings this one through the leg side. Chase on by the fielder coming around from mid-on. She keeps it down to 2. So Ramnath off the mark for the first time in this tournament.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's gonna definitely take her that load off her shoulders, having trouble with scorers in the first innings. So excellent indeed.
Yeah, very capable batter, young Ramnath. Driven nicely to the fielder coming around from mid-off. Gets a single. So there's been lots of talk around the Caribbean and around the Trinidadian players as well about this young girl's talent. I haven't seen her bat for very long periods. I've seen her at the senior level, of course, but obviously she would have batted a bit lower down in the order. When she did bat earlier in the order, she didn't score too many runs, but she does look very compact as a player, very technically sound, and she will be hoping to show her talent at this level.
Well, one would hope that with the talent on show, she has the opportunity now, Shakira, to really dominate this tournament and show her wares to, the doubters, as we would say.
It is Amrita Ramtahal partnering her.
Another Central Sports product, Shakira.
Here's what I'll ask you to do. Tell us all 5 Central Sports players in this 11 today.
Four are playing today.
Four today.
Yeah. So you got Amrita Ramta, you got Samira Naidu, you've got Tamika Pagu, and Samira. Hold on.
Driven firmly between the fielder at extra cover, who's in very tight, and the fielder at mid-off, all along the ground. So very classy for Ramtahal to get off the mark.
So excellent indeed.
Yeah, 6 runs so far in the over, and it took a while before Trinidad and Tobago scored more than Leeward Islands, in fact, scored more than 5 runs from any over sent down by the Trinidad and Tobago bowlers. It's a good start for Trinidad and Tobago. Well pitched up, driven this time to the fielder at extra cover. End of the first over, 6 without loss, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, so Anthony not having the best of starts, giving away very early in this first over, that free hit. And normally when that happens, Shakira, it does really set up the batters, whatever negative vibes, as we say, that they may go out with. It does give them the opportunity to express themselves, without having to think about being dismissed. So it really is an opportunity to really let loose, as we say.
Yeah, certainly, and it will, of course, affect the confidence of Anthony. No one wants to bowl a no ball, especially so early in their spell. Luckily for her, it did not result in a boundary, and just 6 runs conceded for her first over. And she, too, will want to make sure that she's able to find the right lengths. Hopefully, she would have learned from what the Trinidad and Tobago Pacers did, and we never saw anything too full from the Pacers. They back pitched the ball and made it very hard on this 2-pace surface for the batters.
Yeah, so it's very evident that this pitch is two-paced.
Leah Weeks from the next end, and she starts with an outswinger, beating the outside half of Ramnath's bat.
So Ramnath, I would just love to see her take a moment, assess the conditions a bit more, Shakira, and then try and express herself. To me, yes, she's a shotgun, but you still need to give yourself that opportunity to get in.
Short. This one slashed away to the fielder at deep third.
So I'm going to tell you about the fourth player who is on this Trinidad and Tobago team. It's an amazing story, Shakira. She came all the way from Venezuela, took a boat. Okay, and the rest is history. She's the first player as an immigrant to play for Trinidad and Tobago at the under-19 level. First time in its history.
Very exciting news for everyone involved in Central Sports Club, also for her family, and I'm sure for all of Trinidad and Tobago and all Venezuelans watching a Venezuelan playing cricket. You know that sport is not played in Trinidad. Outside edge between wicket keeper and the fielder at first slate, and it will roll away into the boundary. So first boundary for this Trinidad and Tobago side comes compliments of the outside half of Ramtahal's bat.
So pitched up delivery, getting on the edge and bisecting the wicketkeeper and first slip, and it goes down into that third man region for the first boundary of the innings. That takes the score on to 7. So very exciting times ahead.
Score moves on to 11, in fact.
My apology.
Yeah, score is just slightly behind. Driven nicely, but well fielded.
And I tell you what, someone like Amrita Ramtahal, I've got a lot of time for her because, she seems so mature at the tender age of 15. Just, getting into this Trinidad and Tobago side has been a big, huge opportunity for her. But the biggest opportunity came like about 3 months ago, where she was invited to a West Indies camp. And to me, that really helped her a lot in terms of going to that camp, rubbing shoulders with the coaches, and also learning quite a bit on that camp.
Yeah, and she must have been really proud. She and her parents, family, friends, schoolmates even, must have been really proud when she was called up to that West Indies on the 19 camp. And I'm sure they'll all be hoping that she can perform and be selected for the West Indies team. A reminder that the West Indies on the 19 team will be selected at the end of this tournament to play a bilateral series against USA on the 19 women. At the end of the second over, Trinidad and Tobago women move on to 12 without loss.
So a lot on offer for these young ladies, Shakira. And, as you would have alluded earlier, back in the day, you all didn't have all these opportunities, to showcase your talent at any level. You had to work tirelessly to get into your national team before you could even think about, West Indies cricket.
Yeah, certainly. And there was no under 19 cricket back in the day. Now there is an under 19 World Cup. And with that, Ramtahal loses her stump. So well bowled by Kimberly Anthony, finally finding the right length on this surface. And she shatters the stumps.
Yeah, excellent delivery there from Anthony. Just getting that ball to tail back into the left-hander attack. Amrita Ramtal was caught on the crease there, neither back or forward, and paying the ultimate price, losing her off ball.
Yeah, Ramtahal seemed very comfortable on the front foot when the ball was well pitched up. This time, Anthony pulling the length back, and Ramtahal being stuck on the crease, like you so rightly said. And she goes. Trinidad and Tobago lose their first wicket at 12.
So it's going to be Katrina Ruben batting at that number 3 position. So a very good wicket indeed. As we know, against the Guyana team, the TNT batting did struggle.
Yeah, same order so far. You were speaking about whether or not the order would have been the same. And Katrina Rubin did bat at 3 in that first round. She was dismissed by a pacer, the outstanding pacer Trisha Hardat, who took 4 for 12 for the Guyana side. She only scored 2 runs. Hardat, she was a judge LBW. So she'll be hoping to play the ball in the V at least at the start of her innings.
And even though we're playing in the T20 format, you still want to see the skill level where the ball is hit, where it comes from. You know, in the V's, as you say, mid on, mid off. You know, and taking every opportunity to take the pace of the ball and get the rotation of the strike as well. One of the areas that at the highest level we've struggled at in the West Indies is playing the ball square off the wicket.
Now the appeal goes through to the wicket keeper. Not out, says the umpire. Much better over so far from Kimberly Anthony. She's gotten a wicket, and so far 2 dots. Yeah, definitely. The basics are very important in any format of the game. The best players in the world are very good at repeating those basics.
And we've seen the players who have dominated all formats. They've been very proficient at playing at the longer version, and when they come into the shorter version, they have been very prolific as well. And this one is played brilliantly through backward point. The turn for 1, they're going to come back for 2. A short and wide from Anthony Ruben, back and across and bisecting the backward point to her right and being able to pick up two runs. So that takes the score on to 14 for 1, and we are into over number 3.
And Courtney Brown cleans up, running down that ball from backward point. So Ruben off the mark. It's a very interesting move by the Leeward Islands ladies today. They've opted not to open with the captain, Jazara Claxton. Claxton, perhaps the best bowler in this lineup. She did open the bowling in that first encounter against Barbados. Never got wickets until she came back into the attack. But she's very good with new ball in hand. She bowls lovely out swingers. Gets a very late swing when bowling to the right-handers. But they've opted to use her in the middle instead. They've gone with Kimberly Anthony and Aaliyah Weeks. Dot to end the 3rd over. So 2 runs and a wicket from it. Wicket for the birthday girl, Kimberly Anthony. Finally something to smile about.
Definitely something to smile about from Anthony. Lovely delivery indeed. Beating Amrita Ramtahal all ends up and hitting the off pole.
And if you're wondering what's happening in the other games, Guyana is taking on Jamaica over at Diego Martin. Guyana got to 133 for 7 in their 20 overs. It's a very good score by the Guyanese, and we do know what that bowling attack is like. So they will be hoping that they can come out on top. I'm sure they're very confident.
Well, Jamaica not having the best of starts as well, going on to the Windward Islands in that first round encounter at Brian Lara Cricket Academy. So they would definitely want to change the fortunes there, but they're coming up against a very good bowling attack from the Guyanese team.
Wayward from Weeks, and you can see how disappointed she is. Wide signal by the umpire.
So Samara Ramnath, having represented Trinidad and Tobago at the senior level last year. And this one she's driving away, but only finding that extra cover fielder. There's no run.
In the other encounter between Barbados and the Windward Islands women. Windward Islands women are batting first, and they're 62 for 7 after 16.5 overs.
And this one is lofted over mid-on. A lovely shot indeed, pitched up on the leg stump, half, and it goes into the boundary for 4 runs. A leg stump half volley there and put away quite handsomely by Samara Ramnath.
Yeah, and again, we were talking about the lengths to bowl on this surface. Too full once again by Aaliyah Weeks. And every time they've gone too full, the Trinidad and Tobago batters have seemed so much more comfortable. But that's an excellent shot by young Ramnath, keeping her shape and lofting that one over the head of the fielder at mid-on into the boundary. Pulls the length back immediately and low appeal. Not out, says the umpire.
And
Good adjustment by Aaliyah Weeks.
Yeah, very good adjustment indeed. And the history would have shown that 5-6 meter mark, Shakira, is the length to be bowling on this surface, because the ball does seem to have, you get that extra bounce from that length.
Yeah, and there's that length again. And in women's cricket, we tend to think it's a bit fuller than men's cricket. So perhaps 5 meters as opposed to 6 perhaps is a bit short in women's cricket. Seeing that many of the girls don't have the pace to maintain that 6 meter length and to rush you. But that is the length that she needs to bowl on this surface. This one clipped away down to the fielder at fine leg. Got herself into a funny position in Ramnath, but eventually she was able to get enough bat on it to get a single. So the end of 4 overs, Trinidad and Tobago women 20 for 1.
So excellent start by the TNT batters. Samara Ramnath on 9. Batting with her is Katrina Ruben. Katrina Ruben is also one of the wicket keepers in this TNT lineup.
She did a wicket keep in that first game, didn't she?
Yeah, against Guyana.
So lots of options for this Trinidad and Tobago side. Ruben wore the gloves in that first game. Today it was Pagu, who was pretty decent behind the stumps. Took a catch early on, and then she was accountable for that run out at the end.
So very important at this stage of the innings as well to Shakira, that Ramnath understands her role in terms of this TNT batting, where she stands in this TNT batting lineup.
Yeah, her role right now would be to make sure that Claxton does not get a wicket. Claxton bringing herself into the attack, replacing Kimberly Anthony at the far end.
And immediately on spot, Samara Ramnath stylishly gets into line, plays a forward defense. There's no run on offer.
Yeah, they just need 63 runs from 95 deliveries. Require it just under 4.
And she should not be chasing those deliveries. 6 and 7 stump there, very wide indeed. But nice carry there from Clarkson into the keeper.
Yeah, Clarkson too is a field event athlete. She's represented her country, St. Kitts and Nevis, at the Carifta level. I think she did the heptathlon actually at the Carifta last year. So she too is quite strong. You would expect to see the ball carrying through nicely to the wicketkeeper when Clarkson has ball in hand.
And you could see that build from Clarkson there in terms of her physicality.
Yeah, she is a natural athlete, Clarkson. She does play football as well for St. Kitts and Nevis. Driven uppishly to the fielder at backward point. Well fielded.
And it's great to have that knowledge that these female athletes, they're doing multiple sport, because to me, if you involve at sport at a decent level, it's very important to play multiple sports as well.
Yeah, certainly. We would have seen the likes of Elise Perry, who played football for Australia and cricket for Australia. Susie Bates, this one is cut behind point. Work for the fielder from deep territory. She cannot get around, and it's into the boundary. 4 more runs for Samara Ramnath.
Yeah, short and wide outside the off stump from Clarkson, really begging to be hit, but perfect execution of that square cut from Samara Ramnath.
Now you see why she chased the initial delivery that was short and wide as well. There is an opportunity for her to get a boundary. Fielder at deep third is pretty fine. So anytime the ball goes to the left of backward point, the fielder at deep third has lots of work to do. Overcompensates 2 straight on this occasion, and it's flicked down to the fielder at deep fine leg. They cross for 2 runs. Leg by signaled by the umpire, in fact.
So Claxton just losing her radar a bit here in this over. Going short and wide outside the off stump and now overcompensating, going outside the line of the leg stump. I think it's important for someone like Claxton. Possibly just needs to tone it down a bit in terms of just try and get, her line and length.
Fault shot being played there by Ramnath. Luckily for her, it does not take the edge. End of the 5th over. Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 ladies, 27 for 1.
So very good start indeed from the TNT Divas. But both Samara Ramnath and Kiara Ruben, does have the responsibility, Shakira, of taking the score deep, and possibly try and cross the line for this TNT team. They do have the very competent right-hander in Brianna Haricharan in their ranks.
Yeah, I'm looking at the score carried from that first game that the Trinidad and Tobago on 19 ladies played against Guyana. Reminder that they lost that game. And I'm noting that there were not any notable contributions from the top order. In fact, the top scorer was Espinoza, scored 15 from 45 deliveries. And then Katie Jazz Mitchell, who is not playing today, got to 14 before she was forced to retire out. So they will not want to leave too much for the middle to lower order to do. And Ramnath has gotten a start. She's on the 13 from 18 deliveries. And she will need to carry on.
She definitely needs to take that responsibility, not only as a senior batter, but as a captain of this team, and usher them to victory. Get their tournament back on track.
Yeah, Courtney Brown into the attack, replacing Aaliyah Weeks. That one beats the outside edge of the bat of Katrina Rubin through to the wicket keeper. When we spoke about cricket years ago, you heard Courtney Brown, you would think it would be the person behind the stumps. This is young Courtney Brown from Leeward Islands, medium pacer, and she started very well. 3 dots sent down to Rubin.
And Ruben guilty of playing the 3 similar shots as well. Ball pitching on about that 4th stump line, and still she is flashing away.
Goes a lot straighter on this occasion. Rubin manages to keep it out. But 4 dots. It's just stemming the flow of runs here so far, Courtney Brown. It is the final over of the power play. So very important over. Very often this is the most expensive over in the power play. His batters are looking to capitalize and make the most of the last over with 2 fielders outside of the circle.
And this one, she tries to play that ball through that cover point. It peels off the outside edge. It goes on to 3rd man. But more importantly, 1 run is added to the score. Takes the score to 28. And we are into over number 6. 1 more ball remaining in the power play overs. She seems to be a little bit awkward when that ball is into her pad region there. Samara Ramnath, she just seems to be getting chest on rather than staying side on and using the wrist to work it down into that maybe deep backward square region. She just seems to be getting chest on. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, before I get into that, it's the end of the power play. So 6 overs completed. And the score is 28 for 1. Trinidad and Tobago women need 55 more to win this game and get their first points on the table. Well, first points from winning the game. Remember, they've taken 1 bonus point by virtue of wickets taken by pacers and wrist spinners. So they do have 1 point so far. Claxton to continue. Solid by Katrina Rubin, and a slight misview by Courtney Brown at backward point allows them to cross for a single.
Rosario does the fielding there.
Yeah, she does seem to get herself in a tangle though, Ramnath, when the ball is sent down straight. Other than that lofted shot over mid on, where she kept her shape very well, stay side on, allow the ball to come to her. She's found herself in a tangle every time the ball is sent down straight. Full toss. She loses her footing, Ramnath. We hope she's okay. Seems to be.
She just seems wanting to get to that score in one ball.
Yeah, and I think what happens at this level, especially when you've already gained experience at the senior level, you put so much pressure on yourself to perform and dominate that then sometimes it's a detriment to what you end up producing.
And I think also to add to what you're saying, I think that you still got to respect the level that you're playing. In that, if you have played at the higher level, when you come back down to this level, your modus operandi has to be to dominate. Because sometimes we could get carried away, thinking that, okay, we've played at the senior level and we just come down here and dominate. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you do expect them to dominate at this level though, but what they have to remember is that every time they start a new game, a new innings, they have to start over. I think that perhaps that's what they're forgetting. It's almost as though they're expecting to continue. Still play each ball on its merit. Still respect the good balls. Loud appeal, and it's given. So Claxton has a wicket. Katrina Rubin feels once more. She goes for just 4.
Yeah, flashing outside the line of the off stump. Not moving at all. Just the bat was thrown at the ball. They're feathering a catch to the wicket keeper. So wicket number 2 goes down for TNT. Looking at it again there. Absolutely no foot movement. And into the glove she goes. So Katrina Ruben, her second game has not really resulted in the kind of production that they would have wanted from the TNT team.
Yeah, it brings vice captain Brianna Haricharan to the crease to join her captain. 30 for 2 in 6.5. A much more controlled over by Claxton. First over was a bit wayward. Sent some wide, sent some down the leg side. This time, she's shown lots of control, and it results in a wicket. So she has 1 wicket so far for the game to back up her handy knock with the bat.
Is that not going to bring her victory?
Right up to the bat, driven firmly, but straight to the field at mid-off. Dot to end the 7th over. Trinidad and Tobago women 30 for 2 in pursuit of 83 for victory.
So the Leeward Islands doing a tremendous job here at the UE Spec facility. 30 for 2. Skipper Samara Ramnath is not out on 14. Brianna Haricharan just recently came to the crease. She's yet to get off the mark. But excellent over indeed from Janita Claxton.
Yeah, just 2 runs and a wicket from the overs. The last 2 overs have really stemmed the flow of runs by the Trinidad side. A reminder that it took Leeward Islands on the 19 ladies 10 overs to get to the same score. So at the end of 10 overs, Leeward Islands were 30 for 2. So Trinidad and Tobago well ahead of where Leewards were. But still a chance for Leeward Islands. I'm sure they'll still be confident that they can get themselves back into this game. And they know if they're to do that, they're going to have to break what could potentially be a match-winning partnership between captain and vice-captain.
Yeah, indeed. Both Brianna Haricharan and skipper Samara Ramnath, they're the main batters in this team.
Yeah, change of bowling. Courtney Brown replaced by Gabrielle Harilal.
So left arm orthodox for the first time.
Chance for a run out. Makes it safely.
So nicely flighted delivery from Harilal. Ramnath using her feet, driving down to mid-off. The score moves up by 1. It does bring the new batter on strike, Brianna Haricharan. Have you seen this young lady before?
I've seen her at senior regionals this year. I don't recall if it's her batting, though. I know she would have batted at some point during the tournament, but I'm not sure if she batted at Warner Park Stadium, where I was posted for the entirety of the tournament. But I'm getting the opportunity to see her here today, and hopefully she will impress. I say that with absolutely no bias, but I want to see good batters coming through for West Indies. It is a problem in the Caribbean at all levels.
Yeah, and it would be great to see, young batters coming through, from this tournament. Because I believe that this tournament really produced, an ideal platform, for young female cricketers, to make their mark. Harilal giving the ball some generous flight.
And she's been on target with every ball so far. Left arm through and around to the right-handers. Chance for a catch, but it's over the head of Harilal, and could have been potentially a chance for a run out. All danger averted, and they eventually cross easily for a single.
So beaten in the flight was Brianna Haricharan. She was through the shot even before the ball was delivered. Fortunately for her, she was able to chip the ball over the bowler.
Uses her feet on this occasion, Ramnath. Then she tries to hit the ball way too hard, loses her shape, takes her eyes off the ball, ends up resulting in a dot delivery. 32 for 2 after 8, just 2 from the first Harilal over.
So excellent start from Harilal there. I thought she was bang on target, and with her piece, or the lack of, she's making it very difficult indeed. But just as we had witnessed in the first innings, the timing, wasn't there from the batters.
Yeah, her modus operandi has been different to that of the Trinidad and Tobago spinners when they first started. They were slow as well, but they were into the pitch. She's tossing it up quite generously to the batters. But she too is causing problems. They're all been struggling with the timing today, whether or not it's in the surface or full. New bowler, and it is Kambapali. Wrist spinner. Oh, turn, lots of turn. No slip, but lots of turn. That one turning away from the attempted drive from Haricharan.
So lovely flight to delivery there from the bowler. So short, pull through that forward of square position.
I'll tell you what, I don't remember if I've ever seen so many wrist spinners in a West Indies tournament. Trinidad and Tobago bowled 3 wrist spinners. This is the first for Leeward Islands. It's very good to see because wrist spinners, as you would know, are your wicket takers.
Yeah, they always come to the party, the Shakira. They give you that X factor in terms of aggression, wicket taking options. They do give you a lot as a team. They give you that balance as well. This one is firmly driven to extra cover to get a single.
And compliments of a misfield again. But yeah, with so many right-handed batters in this Trinidad and Tobago side, I think there are 2 left-handers by my count in this batting lineup. So it is a chance for the wrist spinner to cause some problems. Claxton eventually puts herself at slip. So good move She's looking to take a wicket.
And there is enough evidence based on what we've seen thus far, with the ball spinning away from the right-hander. On this occasion, she's unable to stop that single.
Just a bit of a break, giving Ramnath some time to just fix her equipment. Final delivery of the ninth over coming up.
So this one is driven handsomely down to mid-on. There's a single on offer. So at the end of over number 9, the score 36-2.
And just to give you an update on that game between Windward Islands and Barbados on the 19 women, Windward Islands have been kept to 74 for 9 at the end of their allotted quarter. So it means Barbados women will need to score 75 runs if they're going to get their first win of this year's on the 19 Rising Stars Championship. Harry Lau to continue.
A lovely use of the feet from Samara, recognizing that she wasn't to the pitch of the ball. Caresses it out to extra cover, where Claxton does the fielding. There's no run. And bang on target again.
And her lanes have been very impressive so far, Harry Lau. She continues to target the stumps. Nicely driven, but a chance for a run out. And had it been a direct hit, perhaps Ramnath would have been in trouble.
So we're hearing in the background there her father just reminding her that she needs to be there at the back at the end of the game. A lovely flowing drive, possibly was hit a bit too crisp on this occasion to take on the fielder, but she decided that she's gonna come through.
Nicely dab down to the vacant third region. Gets Haracharan off strike.
So this one was just a tad wide. Haracharan waited on it, and at the last moment, just backcut it past the wicketkeeper for a single. Very tempting indeed. Lovely flight. Really extending that invitation to Ramnath to come and get to the pitch of the ball. This one is played down to mid-on. Anthony does the fielding. So at the end of over number 10,
score is 39 for 2. Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 ladies, 9 runs ahead of where the Leeward Islands on the 19 ladies were at the halfway stage. A time for everyone to take a much needed drink and a time for some discussions. Welcome back to the Sir Frank Rural Field here in Trinidad and Tobago. You have the encounter between Trinidad and Tobago women and the Leeward Islands women. Trinidad and Tobago women chasing that score of 82 for 8 made by the Leeward Islands women. Trinidad and Tobago are 39 for 2 at the halfway stage.
And a lot is going to depend now on this pair that's batting out in the middle. Um, I'm sure Coach Kelvin Williams, will want both of them to take the responsibility and bring some stability back into this batting lineup and confidence.
Yeah, certainly. And the two at the crease for Trinidad and Tobago are Captain Samara Ramnath and Vice Captain for today, Brianna Haricharan. A reminder that Brianna Haricharan is Vice Captain today because Katie Jazz Mitchell is out injured. We all hope that she will be okay and cleared to join the Trinidad and Tobago team in round 3 of this tournament.
So we just want to wish young Katie Jazz, speedy recovery.
It will be Kambapali to continue. Wrist spinner. Starts 2 straight on this occasion. This one is helped way behind square on the leg side. And it will be work for the fielder to do. Running around. It slows up. They're able to cross for 2 runs.
So Kampali, just pulling that one down. But she seems to be bowling more googlies than anything else. She does have that leg spinning option in her repertoire, but recently in the last at the back end of that over, she just seems to be ripping that googly. Just some generous flight again on offer here. Samara Ramnath just riding out, getting to the pitch, taps it back to the bowler. So a very interesting contest here between Samara Ramnath and this young leg spinner.
Nicely driven. Pass the fielder at mid-on. And can they cross for two? They can indeed. So very good running by these two. And the running will be important, as boundaries seem very difficult to come by, especially in this middle phase of the game when four fielders are allowed on the boundary.
And normally in the T20 format, the middle overs is where it's most challenging when it comes to scoring as well, with four boundary riders that are allowed outside that 25 yard circle, 25 meter circle, sorry. So again, the urgency that you would love to see, Shakira, sometimes it's not there. So you go down to the non-strikers end, but you're not looking to capitalize on in the event that the ball is bobbled.
Heartening to see youngsters being brave enough to use their feet to the spinners. Remember when Campbell Pally herself was batting, she too used her feet quite often. Loud appeal, perhaps pitched outside leg. So a dot to end the over. 5 from the 11th. Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 ladies. 44 for 2.
Yeah, at this stage, it's very important indeed that both these batters take it as deep as possible, Shakira, because you don't want to leave the job to anyone else. And it's very important when you get set that you go big. And it's something that we have not been seeing at all levels of the game. You get a quick fire 20-30 and you're very happy with that. But you're not seeing that discipline, and that energy of the batters wanting to carry on and go big. And from this tournament, I'm sure the selectors would be looking at the manner in which these young ladies construct an innings more than anything else.
And so far, Samara Ramnath is constructing her innings very well. She's 24 of 36 deliveries.
Samara was indicating to the umpire that was very wide indeed.
Yeah, I think not given away because of the fact that she stepped across very close to that delivery. Slapped past the fielder at mid-off, and this should race into the boundary, and it does. So another boundary from Ramnath. Very good use of the feet again.
Excellent use of the feet there. Generous flight from Harry Lal, I must admit, but very good execution when it comes to using her feet there. And she got the timing, she got the placement, she was able to beat mid-off to her right, and away it went into the boundary. So excellent use of the feet there.
This is an interesting field set by Jazara Claxton. Claxton herself is on the pitch, in fact right next to the stumps at the non-strikers end, so almost a very, very, very close mid-off. I think she's trying to ask Ramnath to go further inside out or go across the line of the ball if she wants to score freely. So far, Ramnath has been up to the task. She's been able to beat Claxton to her right, and this time she's gone down to the fielder at long on.
So intelligent batting indeed. And having looked at her in the last couple of overs after the interval, she just seems to to have settled down a bit, Shakira.
Yeah, certainly. And that break would have done her well. A chance to talk to the coach and be reminded that she's doing the job that is required. Wide signaled by the umpire, and that brings up the 50 for the Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 ladies. So 50 for 2 with 2 balls remaining in the 12th over.
So really now setting themselves up nicely in this run chase is the TNT batters. Short, pull their way through. Mid wicket. It goes out to Rosario. They get a single. Score moves up by 1. It's 51 for 2.
Full toss swung away to the right at that fielder at the mid wicket. She does well and keeps it to 1. So 8 runs from that, the 12th over. Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 ladies, 52 for 2.
Yeah, so excellent batting from both Brianna Haricharan and Samara Ramna, the skipper. Really taking it on now. Samara moves on to 30. And how well it would be for her if she could get to that half century and possibly come not out, Shakira.
Yeah, certainly she'll hope to get a chance to raise her bat, but more importantly, she'll be hoping to stay there to see her team over the line. I think more than anything, she wants to get a W for her team. Oh, well tossed up, and that was a mis-stumping chance.
Yeah, so very careless indeed, from Samara Ramna there.
So Ramnath given a life on 30 by the wicketkeeper. Tries to drive that one to the fielder at mid-off, but a hand taking over. Ends up driving it straight back to the bowler Campbell Pali.
And here we see some turn and offer. Spinning past the outside edge. Excellent delivery indeed. And here she goes past the outside edge again. Excellent bowling. Pitching it in the right areas. Beating all ends up here.
Yeah, certainly. Every time she's gotten the ball to pitch, she has been able to get it to spin. But what Ramnath has been doing so well to counter it is she's been using her feet. There she does it once again, but she tries to go too square on this occasion. You can see she's getting very frustrated. She expects to do better with these full tosses, especially after being there for 46 deliveries.
Yeah, and to me it just seems that she wants to take on the bowling, but if she just keeps her head steady, okay, she'll be able to work that ball down to long on.
Maiden over sent down by Campbell Pali. First maiden of the day. And it is 52 for 2. The score remains after 13 overs.
Very impressive over indeed. And I must admit, she did trouble both batters, both Harry Charan and Samara Ramnath. Excellent bowling indeed. And it's great to see these leg spinners in operation. They bring that level of excitement, that something is almost going to happen at any moment.
Yeah, certainly. Our spinners always keep the game interesting. Something is always happening. You get wickets or you get boundaries. Looks like it's going to be Courtney Brown who's going to be reintroducing to the attack.
I'm surprised I haven't seen Rosario at the bowling crease just yet.
Courtney Brown will replace the left arm orthodox spinner Harry Lal. Sent on 3 overs so far. She continues with that line just outside of all stump.
Harry Charan just leads on that, plays it out to extra cover where skipper Claxton does the fielding. There's no run. So if she could back this over up now with another maiden, it may just bring about something different from the batters. This one is played out to backward point. There's no run.
And she's maintained a very good line, Courtney Brown. That first over she bowled, majority of the balls were sent down around that 4 stump area.
And how well she'd love to have a wicket in the wickets column now.
Yeah, certainly. She's only gone for 1 run. So even if she doesn't get a wicket, she like to be economical and send that required rate up.
And a loud appeal.
Very well bowled. Good length as well. This time straighter, but very good length. Asking questions, Courtney Brown.
Yeah, Brianna Harry-Charan there possibly was guilty of just playing across the tide there a bit, which prompted that loud appeal. But it brings the TNT skipper back on strike, Samara Ramnath. And here she's backing away to play that square cut.
It's interesting that there's no sharp mid wicket while Courtney Brown is bowling. There is a short square leg instead. I'd like to see that fielder come to sharp mid wicket and ask the batters to go across.
Well, I was not going to say to you, it's possible a ploy that the skipper Claxton has deliberately employed for the likes of Weeks to bowl wicket to wicket and ask them to play across the tide.
Yeah, I just think I'd perhaps utilize the sharp mid wicket instead and ask them to hit the ball a lot squarer. That is how you get the wickets. If you're hitting ball to mid wicket, you can still play that with a fairly straight bat. We shall see though. It's 2 runs from the over. Final delivery coming up. Dot to end. So 2 runs from Courtney Brown's second over. Score moves up to 54 for 2 at the end of 14.
So excellent over indeed. Backing up Kampali.
6 overs remaining. Claxton has 2 overs. Kimberly Anthony has 2. Cam Badapali has 1. Courtney Brown has 2. So lots of options for Claxton. And it looks as though she's going to go back to the wicket taker. The initial wicket taker, Kimberly Anthony, for her 3rd over.
Well, I'm sure at this stage now, skipper Claxton, she would be desperate, if I may say so, to break this partnership now. If she could break this partnership now, 54 for 2, 65 for 5. Anyway, anything can happen. You just add 2 wickets to the present score and everything turns upside down. And immediately she goes past the outside edge of skipper Samara's bat.
Yeah, certainly. You've just stated that Claxton will have a wicket. I'm sure she would, but that required rate is just below 5. It's creeped up. They need 29 from 35 deliveries. So what she will be asking Kimberly Anthony to do is not go for more than 4 runs in this over. Miss Field will allow them to cross for a second. And this is exactly what she doesn't want from her fielders. They want to continue to send that scoring rate up. So she'll be asking Kimberly Anthony to go for less than the required number of runs. If she does that, it continues to go up. Immediately, it means pressure on the batters as much as they have wickets in hand.
And pressure, as you know, will bring wickets.
And I know so often in Trinidad and Tobago they say pressure bursts pipes.
It does. So now we're seeing a more aggressive approach from skipper Ramnath. She's basically taking on Anthony at this stage.
Yeah, so she's realizing that she can't allow this game to get too close. You don't want to have to score 7 and over for the last 3 overs. So it's important that she continues to rotate the strike. Perhaps she's decided to pick a bowler to go after.
Oh.
It means that it comes with risk. And she has decided to take a risk. It has led to her downfall. Kimberly Anthony gets a second.
Well, a very important wicket in the context of this game here now, Shakira, because with the loss of the skipper, here we look at it again, playing right across the tide of the delivery. Had she just learnt on that delivery and try and hit it back past the bowler, she possibly would have succeeded. But she played across the line of flight and paying the ultimate price. Bowled all over the shop by Anthony, but a very telling blow indeed from Anthony.
Goals for a well played 35. But she's gone at a very crucial time. Her team still requiring another 25 runs for victory.
And again, we're seeing the lack of experience in that she had already gotten 4 runs from the over. You know, yes, you want to take a risk, but it has to be calculated as well. So you target, let's say, whatever the RPO is for, you know, that you require. So what you get 4 runs in 3 balls. You know, you're just looking to knock it around and keep taking the game as deep as possible.
Well, it is the birthday girl who gets a second wicket. And again, we see a bowling change paying dividends for the fielding captain. That wicket brings the new batter Samira Naidu to the crease. First left-hander for the Trinidad and Tobago side so far. And she has a job to do. Vice captain Brianna Haricharan is still at the crease. But she's only 6 from 16 deliveries. She hasn't been able to get a rhythm as yet.
So as we were discussing earlier, there is a change in the batting lineup because Samira Naidu has been elevated up the order.
Yeah, loud appeal by Kimberly Anthony. Not out, says the umpire. But very good over. She's gone for 4 runs. But importantly, she's gotten a wicket. And remember, that's another wicket to a pacer. So more bonus points for these teams. Kimberly Anthony has 2 wickets as a pacer. So 0.2 by 2 gives Leeward Island 0.4. Another no ball chance for a run out. And she's gone. Remember, she can be run out from a no ball. So very good fielding by the captain, Jazara Claxton, it looks like. She is run out. It will be a free hit still. But they've gotten a wicket. Trinidad and Tobago now 58 for 4.
Excellent piece of fielding. Brilliant fielding. Picking up and throwing from the skipper herself, Claxton, and running out Samira Naidu without troubling the scorers. So Trinidad and Tobago sink deeper here at the U-Respect ground, losing 2 wickets in quick succession, but more importantly losing their skipper who was set on 35.
Yeah, certainly. They wouldn't have wanted to lose their captain, Samara Ranaf. She was the one who was scoring, the one causing problems for the Leeward Island side. And like you rightly said, she had already taken 4 from the over. But I think she decided she wanted to take risks and she decided to target Kimberly Anthony. Didn't pay off. Who knows? Another day it could have. She went across the line, lost her stumps, and then they eventually lost 2 wickets before adding any runs to the total. So 58 for 4 now. Trinidad and Tobago under 19 ladies.
So TNT losing their 4th wicket, 59 for 4. It brings out Kassar. And the free hit is still on. Immediate, immediately Casa takes on the free hit, lofting that ball over extra cover. Only a single resulting. So the score moves on by 1. It's 60 for 4. So I'm predicting it's going to be a very tight finish here.
Yeah, certainly required to rate up to 4.6 and over. They need 23. Still from 30 deliveries.
So more balls than runs at this stage, but another wicket here. It could definitely send some shivers down the TNT batting lineup.
Yeah, they'll need to keep their composure. The Trinidad and Tobago ladies, they're still ahead of the game.
Kasa is no mug with the bat. She does have a lot of batting ability. Getting a peach of a delivery against the Guyana team.
Courtney Brown to continue. There is a deep mid wicket on the leg side boundary. And deep cover on the offside. Picks out the fielder at backward point. Important dot for this Leeward Island side.
So Courtney Brown continuing to be as tight as the TNT economy. Giving away very little indeed. And this one is played down to fine leg. This one, they're turning. Is she going to come back for the 2? Yes, they're going to take it on. And they're going to get it quite comfortable indeed. So a rare wayward delivery there from Courtney Brown. Pitching that ball just on about the line of the leg stump. And Kasa just neatly plays it away down to that fine leg region. And they come back for 2 runs.
Yeah, remember, this is a different challenge for Courtney Brown. Every other batter she's bowled to so far has been a right-hander. This is now a challenge for her to get her line right to the left-hander.
And she seems to be struggling a bit here with that adjustment. And it's something that we've grown accustomed to at all levels of the game. And that's why it's important from a batting perspective, as a batting lineup. You must have that variation with batters, right-handers mixing with the left-handers, because that adjustment for the bowlers sometimes could be very challenging indeed. I don't know if you had experienced that.
Inside edge, past the stumps narrowly, results in a single. I actually prided myself on my control, so I never quite struggled when I had to bowl to a left and a right-hander. And I actually enjoyed bowling to left-handers, funny enough. And personally, I'm one who never really lobbies for a left-hander just because it's a left-hander. I think
enjoy
you want
bowling
your
to them.
yeah. And from a batting perspective, or at least a coaching perspective, I want my best batters to bat. So I'm not just going to send a left-hander because it's a left-hander. But it may work in their favor. Loud appeal and given. So Courtney Brown being given the opportunity to bowl to a right-hander again, and it results in a wicket, and it's a big wicket of the vice captain Brianna Haricharan. Leeward Islands back in the game.
Leeward Islands big time back in this contest here, getting rid of both the captain and the vice captain here. And I must admit, it's a bit irresponsible at this stage of the game to be playing, that booming drive, wide ball outside the line of the off stump. She was just setting herself up with Brianna Haricharan. But again, losing now, TNT losing wickets at a very critical juncture in this game. But it does brings out Tamika Pagu out in the middle. And as we speak, the weather seems to be coming in as well.
Yeah, it is a bit overcast and windy here at US Pet. But there are just 4 overs remaining after this. So we'll be hoping that we can get a full game in. Tamika Pagu. Another Courtney Brown. Wide delivery.
Oh, it's a no ball. Yeah, so having just picked the wicket of Brianna Haricharan, maybe just striving for that extra yard of pace and giving up that no ball. How costly it's going to be, one will just have to wait and see. So the likes of Tamika Pagu, not known for her A massive hitting of the cricket ball. She has the opportunity now. And an excellent comeback indeed from Courtney Brown. So this contest is wide open.
Yeah, certainly. And are you surprised to see Pagu come to the crease
Well,
and not Espinoza?
Well, I'm surprised that even if it's not Espinoza, I would thought that that young lady Mampol would have come to the crease.
Another wide sent down by Courtney Brown. So really struggling. Perhaps the wind factor playing a role in that, affecting her run up.
But she's been brilliant. She's picked wickets at very crucial moments in this game thus far.
Yeah, she has 1 for 9 in the final delivery of her third over coming up.
And she serves up another wide. She's basically giving it away to TNT here now. She needs to tighten up that line.
Yeah, at this stage it will come down to which side can hold their composure. Really comes down to that at this stage. Trinidad and Tobago women requiring another 16 runs for victory from 25 deliveries.
The bang and target is Courtney Brown. Tamika Pagu comes onto the front foot, defends it, and at the end of over number 16, the score is 67 for 5. Still a lot of work to get done.
Yeah,
and the run rate would have gone on to what, 7 now? The required rate?
I just need 4 and over
4
from here. And 16 from 24 deliveries. And you would have hoped, if you're a Trinidad and Tobago supporter, that a message would have come out to the batters telling them to think balls and not overs. Very often what batters tend to do is think overs. So they think 16 runs from 4 overs, and all your brain is saying is 16 from 4, 16 from 4. And in fact, it's not 4 balls, it's 24 balls. So what I try to do when I'm coaching is remind players to think balls. Even when I was playing, remind the batters to think balls. If you think balls, you can see how far ahead of the game you actually are. They only need 16 runs for 24 legal deliveries.
And well said indeed, Shakira.
Kambalapali back into the attack. Inside edge, they call for a run, and they make it.
So the weather seems to be coming in very, very heavily indeed. The groundsmen now are getting in position.
Kambalapali in for her final over. She hasn't taken a wicket as yet. Leeward Islands will be hoping that she can get a wicket here now. Not just in the context of the game, but also for that bonus 0.2 points.
So
well,
loud appeal for stumping. Tamika Pagu just possibly.
Very strong winds now blowing away the bills. It's worth getting a slip in. It's worth getting a slip in with this wind and with the way that Kambalapali is getting the ball to turn. It's worth getting a slip in to get another wicket. Will Claxton gamble, doesn't look that way. Very tight ring in the circle, but still no slip.
And she goes past the outside edge again.
Massive turn. Don't want an outside edge flying past the wicket keeper, and it results in 2 runs when it could have been a wicket. Excellent control by Kambalapali. Too straight on this occasion, pulled away behind square fielder as well, but they're able to cross for a single.
So the score moves on to 69.
And importantly, Lafondid Kassar on strike to face the wrist spinner.
Yeah, so is she going to take a calculated risk here now?
Fielder at deep mid wicket being sent back. Swings and straight to that fielder who was just sent back on the boundary. So just 1 run.
Rosario doing some excellent work out at mid wicket.
Just 13 runs required now. Is the end of the 17th over. So 13 runs
But this game is still on a knife edge. A wicket in this over here.
The ebbs and flows of the games. Trinidad and Tobago were well in control at the start of the game. Got to 30 for 2 in 7 overs. So well ahead of where Leeward Islands were at that stage. It took Leeward Islands 10 overs to get to that 30-run mark, with the loss of the same 2 wickets. With the introduction of the spinners, the run rate started to creep up, and then they lost 2 wickets in 1 over. The important wicket of Captain Samara Ramnath for 35, and the game has flipped on its head.
So
looks like Aaliyah Weeks was brought back into the attack.
She'll have to reload that one.
Yeah, why signal by the umpire? This is interesting though. Claxton has only sent down 2 overs. Why has she not brought herself back into the attack at this stage? She's the most experienced bowler on the field for the Leeward Islands team, and she is the captain. One would have felt that Claxton would have brought herself back into the attack. You see there, she's bowled 2 overs, just gone for 7 runs, and she's gotten a wicket. I think this is the over she needed to bowl to back up that Campbell Pally over.
But she possibly looking at the option of, because Kampapali has bowled out her overs, she may pick it up from the top end.
You want to take the game as deep as possible. Your best bowler has to bowl here. Takes me back to that World Cup final. Remember, Bumrah was brought back into the attack quite early.
Yeah.
He finished his quota when 2 overs were still left. And that won the game for India. I think Claxton needed to bowl here. Kimberly Anthony still has another over. She has 2 wickets, so maybe Claxton could have come from here, Kimberly Anthony, and
back
then you
the
decide. Yeah. You see though, this is not to say that Aaliyah Weeks is not going to get a wicket. She's
no, but just in the grand context of the game, where the skipper takes the responsibility to close off the game.
Certainly, I'm sure she'll learn though. Remember, these girls are all 19 years and under, so I'm sure she'll learn from this, whether Leeward wins the game or not.
But
this
she
is
has
a
done
learning
a
curve for
tremendous job
each
as
one
well.
of them. Yeah, certainly. And she will know more about Aaliyah Weeks than we would, and we are learning about Aaliyah Weeks in this tournament ourselves. 12 from 15 deliveries, no. So it's getting tighter by the minute. Big shot attempted inside edge. Takes it down to the fielder coming off the boundary at fine leg. Misfield. Pressure all around. And I said a few overs ago, it's about holding your nerve in this situation. You can see both sides panicking.
Yeah, so some desperate running indeed, but some poor backing up as well contributed to TNT getting that extra run. But more importantly for TNT at this stage, Kasa is back on strike.
Yeah, certainly. Good awareness being shown by both batters, being alert to the fact that another single was on offer. Single this time. So 4 runs from the over so far. Exactly what Trinidad and Tobago women require. Leeward Islands need a dot or a wicket here. Perhaps a wicket.
Yeah, it's important if Leeward Islands could continue to chip away at the wickets.
It's a dot to finish. So 4 runs from the 18th over. Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 ladies, 74 for 5. 9 runs required from the final 2 overs. If Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 ladies are going to get their first win of this year's CWI on the 19 Rising Stars Women's Championship.
And Anthony is going to be given the opportunity to bowl this very important over of the game, the 19th over. So a lot is going to depend on this over. Normally the batting side will take the opportunity to try and get as close as possible to close this game off. How Kasa is going to approach this over, we'll just have to wait and see it as it unfolds.
Yeah, Anthony has accounted for 2 wickets so far. So the birthday girl has given her side
Every chance.
0.4 bonus points, but she's also giving them every chance, as you rightly said, but a chance for her to really shine and blow up the candles for this Trinidad and Tobago side. A big shot over the leg side. The fielder is way off the boundary. She does well to keep it back in though. 2 runs added to the total.
So excellent cricket all around. Great effort from Rosario at the deep mid wicket. She was going and going and going. Unfortunately for her, it just went over her head, and they were able to come back for 2.
7 runs required now.
So Kasa seems like she want to take matters into her own hands here now.
Wide signal by the umpire, and they've sent down a number of extras in these last few overs, this Leeward Island side.
So the pressure is building, not only from the fielding team but the batters as well. I'm sure that they, will be feeling that pressure. But it's important now that Kasa see this out for TNT. And excellent work from Anthony there. Powerful straight drive, but she was equal to the task. And for a big unit, she got down there pretty quickly indeed.
Important dot for the Leeward Island side. So 6 runs still required for victory. Well fielded, chance for a run out. And she makes it quite easily, Pagu.
So good running between Kasa and Pagu. Pagu was on her bike for the word go. So the umpire is telling the batters that they're running down at the center of the pitch.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not too concerned with that right now though, these 2 batters. They just want to make it home. Find a way, any way to get these 5 runs. Just one hit away this Trinidad and Tobago side.
So
9
Pagu
deliveries remaining. Dot delivery. So still 5 runs required. Suppose Jazara Clarkson is going to bowl the final over. She has to bowl the final over. If it gets to that. There are 8 deliveries remaining. What she will hope is that there are 2 dots here at the very least. Miscommunication. But no run. She'll be hoping, and she'll be backing herself to defend the 5 runs.
Of course she will.
But I'm sure at the very end of this, she'll be disappointed that she only sent down 3 overs instead of her full quota. Oh, and a wide, another wide, and they end up scrambling a single. Slight misfield by the wicket keeper, and it results in 2 runs. 2 runs added to the total.
And 2 critical runs at this juncture of the game. So 3 required for victory for TNT. So the wicket keeper there trying her best, but unfortunately not being able to hold on. But take nothing away from this Leeward Islands outfit. They have shown that they have enough quality to compete at this level, and they have given a very good account of themselves as well.
Yeah, certainly. Regardless of the result, I'm sure they will be proud of what they've done so far in these 2 rounds of this championship so far. Dot to end. So it means then that Trinidad and Tobago women will require 3 runs for victory from the last over. So 6 deliveries coming up, 3 runs for Trinidad and Tobago to get their first win of this tournament.
So this game still hangs on a knife edge. Tamika Pagu has the responsibility now to at least get a single and bring Kasa back on strike. How is she going to play it? But it's not going to be Claxton. It's going to be Weeks.
It is Claxton, in fact.
Is it? Oh, my apology.
Yeah, no choice but for the captain to take the ball to defend this. 3 runs. It will be a challenge for her, regardless of who she's bowling to. It means she cannot afford to bowl any extras. They cannot afford Pagu any singles. Everyone will certainly be trying to save a single. Pressure on, but these are the times you live for. It will be a challenge for her, but I'm sure if she manages to defend this, she'll be excited and she'll be very proud.
Of course, indeed. So she will be backing her talent, to come forward here. I'm a little bit surprised that, a couple of feelers is still outside of the circle. One would have thought that she would have been a bit more aggressive in terms of her fielding.
Again, no short mid wicket, and that fielder is deep on the boundary at cover. Chance for a run out. Can she make it? Oh, I think she's out. She's out. She is out. So well done. Good composure by the fielder at extra cover. Importantly, it is a wicket for this Leeward Island side, which means they still require another 3 runs. Trinidad and Tobago.
So Tamika Pagu basically giving it up there, hitting and going for that run. But as you rightly said, extremely great composure in the manner in which that run out was executed. So the game still sits on a knife edge. 5 deliveries left and 3 runs to get. But more importantly for Trinidad and Tobago, it brings a Kasa on strike.
Yeah, I think it was Courtney Brown who was so good with ball in hand that executed that run out.
So
very good work by her, eventually being able to compose herself and throw the ball cleanly to Jazara Claxton.
So Kiara Manpole is the batter out in the middle. So a lot of mind games here now. Claxton now ambling up to the wicket and pulling out at the last moment. So a lot of nerves from everyone involved out in the center.
Yeah, she's no stranger to this, Jazara Claxton. She did have to bowl the final over at the senior level for the Leeward Island side against Barbados. Another dot delivery. Wicketkeeper is eventually able to stop that one.
So it's exciting stuff here at UE Spec.
Yeah, the question is, does Kassar?
Everyone is on the edge.
She makes good connection, and this could be the game. It goes 1, 2 bounces, it stops. They cross for 2 runs. Scores are level. Good hit by Kanika Kassar.
Well, I tell you what, as you had alluded to earlier, these are the moments that you live for. And if Kassar now, the game is tied, she could take TNT over the line. It's gonna be very exciting indeed. I'm sure it's going to be a very proud moment for her as well, being able to stick it out in the middle and take her team over the line. But, Claxton.
Dot delivery.
2 deliveries left, 1 run required.
I'm not on the field and I'm sweating. Can only imagine what Claxton is feeling.
Yeah.
And what Kassar is feeling as well.
But both Claxton and Kassar have been able to hold their nerve thus far. Who is going to come out on top here? A wicket here now.
Oh, wide delivery. So that is the finishing touch for this Trinidad and Tobago side. They have their first win. Claxton seems disappointed, but even if it wasn't called a wide, the batters crossed for a single. So either way, Trinidad and Tobago ladies, they take their first win of this championship. And remember, they took an extra bonus point for wickets taken by the pacers and the wrist spinners. So that is victory for Trinidad and Tobago. Leeward Islands ladies, they have their first loss.
Yeah, so a very good victory in the context of the competition. TNT roaring back after having suffered their first wrong to Guyana, and I'm sure there's a lot of good things that Coach Kelvin Williams and as well the Leeward Islands coach could take out of this contest going forward. It has been a very exciting contest, and I'm sure we would both agree that Sakira, we have seen an abundance of talent, in this contest.
Yeah, certainly, and lots for both sides to be proud about, but also lots for both sides to learn from this encounter. I'm sure Claxton will be ruining the fact that she only sent down 2.5 deliveries. I'm also certain that they will be ruining that missed chance. Remember, Samara Ramnath was dropped on 30. She ended up scoring 35, which means she added 5 more runs. How crucial could that have been had that wicket been taken? Either way, good win for Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 ladies. It's their first win of this year's competition, and they have points on the table.
Yeah, congratulations to Trinidad and Tobago. Congratulations to the entire uh, coaching staff, the think tank. But having looked at this contest, there is still a lot of work for this TNT team to become more and more competitive. One area that continues to be of worry to Mr. Williams, I'm sure we'll both agree, the catching needs to improve.
Yeah, certainly on both sides, and I think across the entire competition, I think so far we've seen a number of drop catches by all teams involved, and they will be hoping that they can improve their fielding and improve all other aspects of the game. Either way, it was a good contest, and it was a game I'm sure was enjoyed by all our viewers. Signing out from UE Spec here in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago women taking their first win, beating Leeward Islands by 4 wickets.